And we are, okay, we are live. We should be live. All right. All right. We are live. Let's just see if anyone can hear us. Can anyone hear us? We are, okay, we are live. We should be okay, live. Okay. I can hear myself on the thing. All right. Yeah, I can hear myself. I think everything is fine. And right now, I'll just share the screen so we can have a look at what I'm seeing here. Share MES live stream, live streaming. Okay, so you can see the stats right here. Okay, so Christopher or Christoph Young or Jung says he can hear us. All right, and we have 6 people right now.
So we're growing.
Okay, we have 6 people watching, 11 likes. All right, let's see who else. Let's just wait a tiny bit. Heidi Jens. Okay, Matthew, you wanna start talking just to see if they can hear you. Oh, Matthew, can you hear me, Matthew?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, can you? Yeah. I wanna ask if they can hear you. Can you guys hear Matthew?
Can you hear me talking?
Yeah. Just to see. Okay, Heidi Jens. Okay, Christoph says Heidi Jens. Okay, 10 people now. All right, we have people tuning in. Let's go. It's gonna be a great live stream. I'll leave this there.
Yeah, I recognize a few names.
Yeah. Okay, so he can hear you. Okay, 911 Vision is here. Let's go. Yeah, 911 Vision. I saw your message there earlier. He's gonna be presenting actually tomorrow, I think. Okay, Uncle Phil. Let's go. Matthew sounds great. Okay, we all sound great, guys. Okay, can hear loud and clear. All right, and so what I'll do is I'll stop presenting so we can see our giant faces. So we have 11 people, 14 now. Actually, we'll wait. Let's say, should we wait a bit longer to get a bit more? We have 14 people listening right now. It's pretty epic.
You gotta wait a little bit.
Okay, well, yeah, let's wait a tiny bit.
Let them glance at my back wall.
Yeah, they can watch Black Wall. Okay, so what I'll do is, I'm gonna press stop sharing. I'm gonna go to the washroom, and you can talk to them. Oh, can you? So if you want, what you want to do is, you can see the tab if you want, or I'll just keep this open so you can see them talking in the chat. Can you read the chat? Yeah, so
I can read the chat.
All right. Well, we have 15 people. I'm just gonna go wash them quickly, and you're the host right now.
Okay. All right. Well, hello everybody that's here. My name is Matthew Naus. The NAUS, when I was in the Army, I was kind of a brat once in a while, and they'd make me do push-ups because they'd ask me my name, and I'd say, not authorized for Uncle Sam, sir. So I got a little trouble saying it that way, but they tried to make me pick up cigarette butts, and I didn't smoke, and I didn't like it. So I got smart with them and said, I ain't picking up any cigarette butts. So, and then they'd say, what's your name, soldier? And I'd say, not authorized for Uncle Sam, which was my last name, Naus. So it's just a little joke right there. Anyways, you can see my back wall and the poster I had done many years ago, Judy Wood's book, big poster in the back. And of course, you see the upside down flag, which I've had for quite a long time, going on since about 2007. I've turned that flag around, and things haven't gotten better yet. So I really like to turn it the right way, but we're still in dire distress. So that's the dire distress flag in the background there. And that's legal if you think property or people are being harmed, and that's kind of what's happening in our country for many years now.
All right.
So that's a little bit about my wall.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So I'm back from the washrooms. Yeah. So I see you're talking about the wall. That's pretty epic. Like initially I thought I had a lot of Dr. Judy Wood stuff and 9/11 stuff, but you've taken the cake right now. And so, like, actually, I'll show them my wall there. I have a bunch of those posters from the Irrefutable, just to show the.
Oh yeah.
I'll pin this one, or I'll unpin this so they can see my giant. Okay, there it is. Oh, then there's me in the mirror. Okay.
Oh
And
yeah.
those are the irrefutable. Yeah, so I'm standing right now. All right, there's the irrefutable, and there's my WWE Championship belts. Oh,
I
shines.
pushed a lot of irrefutable DVDs on the street.
Yeah. All right, there it is. I have those ones on there, and I need to get the pillow. Okay, so let's put this back. All right, guys. Let's. We have 17 people. Okay, Paul Lovelace is here. Let's go. So Paul Lovelace is a Hutchison effect believer now. Last time he came in skeptical, and now he's halfway through creating his own levitation effects.
Yeah, I'm small screen now, so I'm not seeing the
Yeah,
I'm not seeing the text.
Okay. Oh no. Oh, we hid that away. So the text is okay.
Okay, it's hid away. Okay.
Right now it's
All
just your
right,
face. So, yeah. So we could we'll show you the text as we like. I'll read the comments out to you. Whenever there's comments that is questions to you, and then occasionally I'll go show you the full thing. So we can actually do that right here. I'll present so you can see. Have a look for now. So like this is the technical issues I was just like discussing just because. Okay, so right now, okay, it's better right now. So you could share you can see my screen. So you can see the comments right now. Yeah, so there's all the comments.
Yep.
So Uncle Phil says nice poster. We have a bunch of people here. Let's see.
They're being more than generous with their comments. Wait till they hear my history.
Yeah, your history's next level. Like I was taken aback. It's pretty epic. All right, we have 20 people now, or 18 or 20, whichever number is right. And
okay, that sounds good.
And yeah, so let's. I'll do an introduction quickly. So Matthew, this my special guest is Matthew Naus. He has been a truth activist for literally 50 years, and more so. He's a Vietnam veteran. And he started out protesting the JFK assassination, I believe, or well, he'll tell us all about that. And he also had a pretty epic protest starting off that got you in jail for I think it was like a few days or
1975.
Yeah. And then also Matthew Naus has been like starting in the 9/11 truth movement with the usual like the disinfo agents like the Alex Jones, the David Ray Griffin, the Richard Gage, Jim Fetzer, and then he realized that once he came across Dr. Judy Wood's work, and he realized that all those other guys were covering up her work of what actually happened to the Twin Towers and just the whole WTC, and so he has absolutely epic insight into the workings of the truth movement and where they want the movement to be or the truth to be moved. And so without further ado, is Matthew Naus, and thanks for coming on the show, and you could bestow knowledge on us. Yeah, bestow your history and knowledge.
And this is Matthew with 2 T's, and we got, of course, our host Matthew with an I and 1 T. And I said to him, well, that's a guy that knows how to dot his I's and cross his T's.
Let's go. Yeah.
So I have a little fun with that name because it's an unusual way to spell Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Thank you for coming on the show, all the people that showed up. Let me just start off with a little history of me when I was 9 years old. When I was 9 years old, around 1959, I used to go out on the playground, and of course, that was the time Kennedy and Nixon were running for president. And we used to have the Kennedy-Nixon gangs on the playground. So naturally, I was on the Kennedy because I was a Democrat, and I was on the Kennedy gang. So President Kennedy was my hero when I was a young kid. And so what happened was he came to Milwaukee a few years later when he was president, and I happened to be by my grandmother's house, and she said, you need to get out on 16th Street. I lived in Milwaukee, close to 16th Street, and she said, he's going to come down in a motorcade. So I rushed out of my grandmother's house, and I got on the street, and I started running down 16th, and I saw a lot of people standing on the curbside. So as I was running down towards my house, all of a sudden a motorcade came. Well, when I was a little kid, I could run like the devil. So it was pretty easy for me to keep up with the motorcade. So I'd run behind the crowds, jump up and wave to the president of the United States, John F. Kennedy. And I was 12, 13 years old at that time. And I really admired him, and I talked to my mother about it, my grandmother. Everybody liked Kennedy at that time. So I was pretty, and I think I ran about 2 miles, and then they crossed the long bridge, and then I lost him, but I kept going, and he got down to the big hotel he was staying at. I saw him there again. He stood up in his car, and it was quite an exciting thing for me as a little kid. So you see where I am with my Kennedy. It's gonna all play a little part when I talk about what's coming up in my life. So all of a sudden, Kennedy gets assassinated. I'm in my junior high class, and in 1963. So I'm 13 years old. I was born in 1950. I'm 73 right now. And I was really saddened by his death. Didn't know a lot, heard about that he was shot, and went home that day from school because it was like 1 in the afternoon. It came over the PA system. And I remember stopping in a bakery and everybody was crying. So it was quite a shock for me. And, I lived with that. And, well, then I spent my next 4 years in high school. I went to an all-boys school, Boys Tech. And in 1969, so I graduated in 68. In 1969, I went into the military. They had what they call a draft. My number was 222. I was a little worried about being an infantry soldier. I just didn't like the idea of killing people. Never did. So I joined, and I got a buddy of mine, a close friend of mine, to join on a buddy system. And we both went to Germany first, but we weren't together. We were in different bases. We just were together during, basic training and stuff like that. And so when I got to Germany, I spent a year there, and then I went home for a little R&R and went to Vietnam in 1971, and I stayed in Vietnam 11 months, and I got out in February of 72 out of Vietnam. Something a lot of people probably don't know is when you go over a country like that, it's kind of weird because you don't really know who the enemy is. I was driving a truck, and and sometimes shots would ring out, and we'd carry a machine gun and some other stuff, a grenade launcher and all that. But we didn't know who to shoot at, so we basically never shot it. We just hear shots going off. So, anyways, I didn't have much experience with war. I had one time get a couple mortars landed where I was sleeping, near where I was sleeping. Shrapnel hit the building I was in my office, which was nearby, but I didn't get hurt. Got scared really bad. Ran into a bunker, left the hooch I was sleeping and knocked me off my bed. Got in, crawled to the bunker because I seen all these soldiers ahead of me crawling. I figured I got to get on the ground. And I got in there, and it's a funny little story. All of a sudden, another GI come behind me in the bunker. It's real dark. He had a flashlight, and he's flashing it around, and he gets to my body, and he flashes on my knees, and my knees were all full of blood, and I'm going, I'm hit. Well, this soldier was a little more experienced than me, and he said, weren't you just crawling on the ground? I go, yeah. He goes, well, that's from your stones and everything that you were crawling on. He said, you didn't get hit. And I was so relieved. But just something that happened to me, Yeah. So I had 2.5 years in the Army, and because I had 6 months or less, I got out of the Army, and it was February of 72. I kind of missed a lot. I was in an all-boys school. I wanted to party, so for 3 years, I was a party animal. I was doing all kinds of, I don't want to get into my, my closet, but sometimes you have a closet full of things that you did in your past, and, you get to my age, 73, it's not so bad talking about it anymore. So get ready for this. He showed a picture. All right, he might bring that up again. Mm-hmm. So he showed a picture of a van.
Oh yeah, let's go to the van.
It's kind of burned out. Now this might get a few of you going, whoa, he's off his rocker. But bear with me. Now that I'm 73, this is really the first public showing I ever did of this photo. I mean, some of my
I mean,
family
there it is.
seen.
There it is.
There it is. That's the van I own. It was, if you notice right over in the corner there, there's a porthole. That was a customized van. I had it all customized. They just started doing that to vans back then. You know, they had all those vans. And I was pretty proud of that van. I had it all customized. But I thought of the lifestyle I was making and all the stuff that I was hearing about. I started to go to the library and read about the Vietnam War. And I was hearing stuff about the Gulf of Tonkin and all those things, you know. And I started seeing stuff that I didn't like. And I wasn't really privy to all that when I was in the military. They kind of hide a lot of stuff. All those protests that were going on in the United States at that time. So putting this new awareness, what happened to me this was in May 13th in 1975. But before that, I started hearing about the Zapruder film, the JFK assassination, and actually there was a time that it went on TV with Geraldo Rivera back in 1975. I missed that TV presentation, but I heard about it, and they showed the actual Zapruder film. And here I am out of Vietnam, a couple of years now, a big party animal, and I went to see this Zapruder film at a private theater in Milwaukee. They were touring the country with it. And I went to see it, and when I came out of that theater, it was like a paradigm shift for me. It was such an awareness that, and I was so naive at the time, but I was starting to get a little bit more intelligent about what the government's been up to in the Vietnam War and all that. But this really shook me because Kennedy, as I said earlier, was my hero. And I always thought it was Oswald that killed him, but that Zapruder film changed me like nothing changed me in my life. And I left that theater thinking, they shot him. That was a massacre on that guy. He didn't get shot from behind. He got shot from the front. That's what the Zapruder film showed me. And there's a lot of stuff out there now about the Zapruder film was fixed. You know, it was a lot of people said, you know, they did a lot to the film itself, but this was the original one. They made 3 copies of that. Life had one. There was one in a museum, a Zapruder museum or something. But this one was one of the original. It showed the bullet hitting him and his head going backwards just like in that one movie. And so I left that theater knowing I didn't trust my government anymore. And I started thinking of things I wanted to do about it. And that's what kind of put the activist blood into my system. And basically, after a lot of thought, and I had a nice girlfriend at that time, and she kind of agreed with me. I said, hey, I got to protest. Well, I did this. I burned my van on a street in Milwaukee, and I used my right to remain silent. And I don't know if you can read all this down here, but some of it's not true, and there's one part that is true, but some of it's not true. Even though this sounds kind of crazy to people, and I had to put up with a lot of my friends not seeing me in a different light when I did it, but it was kind of an evaluation of myself and how I was using my life at that time, getting into drugs and partying and all that stuff. And I didn't think some of the money I had to have to me in a quite legal way, if you know what I'm talking about. So I had to find out. I had to do something. And what I did was I did this little self-evaluation myself, and I wrote a letter, and I got a few guys to help me that were, you know, friends of mine. And I said, I want you to block this street off so nobody gets hurt. everything that was in the van belonged to me, and I parked it in front of the Milwaukee County Courthouse. And at that time, the first video cams that the state, they used to have to go and plug into electrical and all that to get cameras to work, but now they could run around with these big cams on their shoulder, and they didn't have to have the electrical, they had battery power. And so what I did was I called this press up and I said, this is a protest, and it's called Not Authorized for Uncle Sam, my last name. Yeah. And that's all I left with. I said it'll be down, and I told them where I'd be. And I did that about 5 or 10 minutes before I torched the van. So they got there right when they did it, or just as I was doing it, I think. And after I torched the van, of course, the traffic was stopped. Nobody got hurt. The only person that almost got hurt was me because I used white gas, like camping gas. And I went in there and I poured it all over my nice new customized van with carpeting and a bed in there and everything, and I torched it. And I sat on the grass and I waited to get arrested. Yeah. And believe me, I got arrested.
Yeah. So, the article the article makes it seem like you've lost your mind. It said because it said you sat.
They said I sat in the jail nude, naked as a jaybird, and I refused to go to court, and I remained silent. Yeah, I did remain silent. But here's what happened: 4 officers came into my Milwaukee City jail, because that's where they put me first, and they said, take your clothes off. Well, I'm figuring I'm going to get jail clothes, right? I didn't say anything to them. I just took them off. They ordered me to take them off. When they did that, as soon as they got my clothes, all my clothes, they threw them on the ground and started stepping on them. I'm going, what the hell is that? I'm thinking to myself in my mind, because I'm not talking to them. And I go, why are they stepping all over my clothes? And then they left me. They left me like that for over 24 hours.
Wow. In
the jail, naked, no food, no water, nothing. And then they wrote into court he refused to go to court. They never asked me to go to court. They never asked me to any of that. They sent a judge to my cell, and the judge started asking me questions, but all I'm thinking of in my mind is, what's a judge looking at me in a cell naked for? I'm thinking, this isn't right. This judge hasn't got enough power to get my clothes, to get some clothes before he sees me. So I didn't talk to the judge. I used the right to remain silent throughout. Now, when I got arrested, I didn't get my Miranda rights. It was all on film, but this is how I was treated. And then after a full day in jail, this judge told me before he left my cell, well, I'm going to commit you to a Central State hospital called Waupun Central State, which is a hospital in Waupun, Wisconsin. So the next day, they transferred me over. 4 more sheriffs. They put me in chains on my ankles and chains around my waist and my arms. And they guided me over to the next jail, the county jail, which is in charge of transferring me to the Waupun Central State Hospital. And it wasn't for 2 weeks later that I finally heard about the article in the paper and what they wrote. So, it's just that they wanted to meet me. Somebody in that police department wanted me to look crazier. Somebody was influencing telling the press what to write in this paper, Yeah, I did this protest, and I had some symbolism in that van, about the war in Vietnam and, and stuff like that, a gun. And I even knew about the press at that time. I knew the press was lying and that they weren't, a lot of people didn't believe that about the press, but I had some kind of an idea that the press was lying to the American public, about a lot of things, especially the Kennedy assassination. Yeah. So that was the big event that started my activism.
That's good.
So we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm just going to read some. Go on.
Go ahead.
I was going to read some comments regarding the JFK because.
Oh, wait, one more thing I got to add. One more thing. When I got transferred, because I didn't talk to the county sheriff that was now processing me, he didn't like it, so he pulled out his billy club and started beating me. So I got beat the next day after I was committed, by the judge, and I got beat by a sheriff. Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, and you know what's funny?
Yeah.
That sheriff found out that he was a friend of my sister's. He was in the group of my older sister's friends.
Wow.
And they found out he was the sheriff, and they gave him a hard time about that. So just to let you know, that happened to that sheriff that beat me. So anyways, go ahead with the comments.
Yeah, I was gonna read the comments. Yeah, Matt G says, actually, what's the frequency? Or MES MTV Cribs on tag, or or WTF? Yeah. This frequency, I'll do a search soon, but Paul Lovelace is talking about the. So he mentioned that his father was also drafted in 1970 and released from the Army in 1972, and they're talking about the JFK one right here. So he says that the Sabruder film as seen has been modified. The fatal shot came from the grassy knoll from a man dressed up as a police officer. And then 9/11 revisionist says JFK to 9/11, everything is a rich man's trick. That documentary has a great take. The death shot came from the sewer opening in the street. So yeah.
Okay, let me tell you now. Let me bring this up. I probably have 15 books on the JFK assassination in my library right over here, and some of the best books there are. This is one of the best. This book was banned, and there's big articles about this book, and it's Final Judgment by Michael Collins Piper. Now I've read all the books. I've seen a lot of videos. There was basically a number of assassin hit teams in that city that day. There was at least 3 that they know of. Mm-hmm. Okay? There's a lot of stuff about the bullet coming out of the sewer. I don't believe that. From all the books I've read and everything, I differ on that belief. Yeah, there was a bullet. There was a person on the grassy knoll. There was shooting there, but this was definitely a conspiracy. It involved the CIA. That's for darn sure, you know. And there's a lot about the Kennedy assassination. Did anybody hear about the UFO file and what Kennedy was involved with at the time before he was murdered? And that on the day he went to Dallas, Gordon Cooper, one of the astronauts, was supposed to go with him. And for some reason, NASA called him off. They wouldn't let him go. Gordon Cooper's pretty important guy to hear about. And what he thought about all this stuff. And Burkhardt, or what's his name? He was one of the guys. Kennedy was going to announce something about the UFO question way back at that the trade hall that he was going to speak at. And one of the guys was there, and that guy turned out being a double crosser to Kennedy. Lloyd Burkhardt or something. Maybe somebody knows the name. It's just not ringing with me right now. But he was going to be there with Kennedy, and Kennedy trusted him. But now I'm hearing about him and what went on with all that stuff. So it goes back to a lot going on with the Kennedy, with the Permidex, the company that and NASA, and there's so much involved in the Kennedy assassination. You know, there was a number of groups that wanted him dead. You know, a number of different people. You know, the big corporations at the time, and then you got all the bankers and the rich men in Texas, and you got Johnson. There's a lot of people involved in the Kennedy assassination. I just advise people to read a lot of books.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I may do a JFK. Well, I have one planned with a subscriber, Alan Forrest. We're gonna do a JFK live stream this year on JFK anniversary. One thing I was entertaining was the Bill Cooper's view that the driver was a shooter. that was an interesting one here.
Yeah, and I see Christopher Young. He's a dark journalist, Daniel Litz, who I watch a lot. I love watching the dark journalist. He talks a lot about the UFO connection in Kennedy. He's right. Yep.
That's interesting.
I've seen a few of his shows on that.
Here, Mob's saying "Enter the Stars," real gatekeeper. Who's "Enter the Stars"? Is that that YouTube channel? A lot of these I haven't looked too much into. It. JFK's personal might not have been what we heard either. Yeah, JFK. There's rumors that he may have been gay, but
no, I don't believe that. But remember, this all has to do with they don't want the general public to know about high technology.
No, I understand that, but the JFK.
You get into the UFO, you get into the UFO file. You're talking about secret technology. That's something that's really top secret.
No, it is. I just got my view is kind of the presidents. I understand a lot of people like certain presidents, but I think at the end of the day, they're all just like characters as part of a. I think
Marilyn Monroe took care of that problem for him if he had that problem.
Oh yeah, but even then, his best friend, I think his best friend was a gay guy in university, and there's a lot of weird photos of him with him. So that's his best friend.
So
I don't know. Yeah, there's some other stuff you can look at that, but that's for another day. Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Now let me just there was three things, and I already told you there was a letter I gave to the officers that arrested me.
Oh yeah.
Back then, I put in that letter. I knew there was something wrong with Watergate.
Mm-hmm.
I knew there was something wrong with the RFK assassination, and I knew there was something wrong with the Robert F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King assassination. And I've done a lot of reading on both of those assassinations. Let me show you one book. I'm going to hold it up. This is a really good book, and this person even showed up the same day with Dr. Judy Wood, William F. Pepper, back in 2005. He was at Cooper Union Hall where Judy was. That was the first time I ever met Dr. Judy Wood. And the name of this book is An Act of State. Let me see if I can get it right. Is it Joel?
An Act of State, yeah. William F.
William F. An Act of. Yeah, it's an excellent book. There was a civil trial. They have all the evidence, and let me say, James Earl Ray was at that hotel, but he left 15 minutes before the shot was fired. That is proven, and there was a lot more involved in the Martin Luther King assassination.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't James, even though they used him. He was just a fall guy, just like with and here's a good book, an earlier book, and it's on the Robert Kennedy assassination. And if anybody doesn't know this by now, because it's out there, and one of the security guards, let me show the book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there it is.
Yeah.
And that's by, can you read the name?
William Turner and John Christian.
Right. One of the first books to bring up Thane Eugene Caesar. Thane Eugene Caesar was a part-time. He worked for the Ace Guard Service part-time, but he really worked for the Lockheed, and he was part of the industrial complex there. And he got a job part-time moonlighting at Ace Guard. Well, somehow they got him into that hotel, and he had a .22 caliber gun that he owned. Now, what he did is they used the other guy, Saran, to start shooting or shoot, but he didn't have he couldn't hit he couldn't hit him. They ain't shot him. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, actually pulled his tie off, his whole thing up, and grabbed it from him. He knew who Kennedy, before he died, knew who the guy was that was shooting, and it was Stain Caesar. It was that he was the guy that actually did it. He told the police or the investigators at that time that he had a 22 gun, but because they asked him that question, did you have any other gun? He said, but I got rid of it 3 months ago, before the shooting, right? Well, this guy that investigated that book, they found out that he actually sold that gun 3 months after the investigation, and they found the guy that he sold it to and the paperwork, and his signature on the paperwork for a receipt of the gun. So this is really who shot him. Now, he was involved with the industrial complex, just like with Kennedy, and they got him in there, and they found their fall guy, Saran, who was probably under the ML, hypnotized and all that stuff. So that's what I'm going to tell you about those three. All right,
that's good. Okay,
those three assassinations.
All right. This is a lot of great stuff here. I'm gonna use a lot of this info when I do the live stream on JFK.
So I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, and so let's see. We have 36 minutes that have gone by so far. We kicked that one guy just now. The chat. I gave him a 30-minute timeout. He was talking some just some nonsense. He's bad mouthing Judy Woods, and then he spells her name Judy Woods. Like you can see what he wrote here. But notice the spelling Judy Woods. So that's a disinfo technique that I've noticed.
It tells you right there. It's WOOD.
Yeah, and there's a lot here. You can see a lot of comments like this one. I'll share this one here. Here's another one. This other random person says, I think it was Dr. Judy Woods. They always add a extra like S together, so it's like hard to search it, and
they can't even know her.
Yeah, and it's not just a whole bunch here. Dr. Judy Woods. It's like a telltale. I don't know, whatever their programming is. It might be a bot.
Yeah.
So Woods here. Who else? Even when they reference Judy Wood, they say Woods. So it's like when you search Judy Wood, it won't show up. It's just something I've noticed. It's a really weird. A lot of these people just mention Woods and misspell it on purpose. All right, that was interesting stuff. Okay.
So now.
Yeah.
Now I just want to tell you that, okay, I did this. I never regretted doing that first protest in 1975. That's almost 49 years. But the reason is I said 50 years to him because I started doing all this stuff when I was in my early 20s. I was 24 when this happened, but about a year and a half before that, I started my research back then. And I started to get more familiar with, the evilness that goes with this country, So it's been around a long time. It's been around for both world wars. It's just like Smedley Butler says, war is a racket. There's a lot of money to be made. And if you know anything about World War II, same thing. They hooked the Japanese into that, and they knew it wasn't a sneak attack. They knew it. Yeah. And the radio guys approved that one. I have a book on that one. Okay, so let's talk about what happened with me after this. Well, I changed my life. I became a school teacher, a grade school teacher. Went back to school, and got married in 1979, had 2 daughters in 81 and 85, and raised my kids and dedicated my life to kids and teaching school, grade school. And did that for 17 years. And near the end of my school career, I got pretty good with computers when they first came out in the 90s. And we didn't have the internet, so it was hard. You had to go to the library. You had to have, order magazines or newspapers like the Spotlight stuff like that to get your news. So when the internet showed up, it was around 92, 91, 92, I'm thinking, and you started getting the home computers in your homes and stuff like that. I would get them when I was teaching. I'd get the computers there, and that helped me start more research. And I began my research with the alien stuff. I did that for years. Wow. And I began listening to the radio programs like Art Bell, and George Noory, Coast to Coast AM. And there's a few other ones. And then, of course, you had the radio program from, who was it that was killed? I can't think of his name. He had his own radio show, too. Maybe somebody over there. I'm losing names. I'm getting old. I lose the names. But I started listening to the radio shows, and I started getting more and more informed about what was going on, especially the conspiracies out there, and crop circles. You get into all that stuff, the Illuminati, the whole thing about that, and, and the Masons. So I got a lot of information in the 90s, and I started to get that stuff off the internet. And then I started saving a lot of articles and stuff. I have file drawers down here full of those old articles I had, So come around 2005, I thought it was 2005, but I went back on that, on the Coast to Coast AM show. I'd stay up late at night. 12 o'clock it would come on, but I'd usually fall asleep because I had school the next day, or sometimes, unless it was a Friday night show. And I heard James Fetzer on the radio on one of the shows with George Noory, and James Fetzer was talking about 9/11. Now, let me tell you this about 9/11. When I first heard about it, I knew when the second plane hit, I knew instantly that this was an attack of some sort. And of course, I'm thinking, well, Osama bin Laden. Now, you think a guy like me, who's been through a lot of stuff already and been doing a lot of, wouldn't get hoodwinked so easily on that. But I was busy with my schooling. It just passed over me from 2001 until I heard good old Mr. Fetzer, who's from my state, and I met him many a times, in my early days in the movement. It was him that I heard that got my curiosity and my activism juices flowing again. So, most activists are very curious people. Once they hear something, they want to investigate. So I did a lot of that. I started in 2006. I started doing a lot of research. And now I was getting better at it as a researcher with the computers and all that. So I did a heck of a lot of research. And after about 3 months, I felt ready to go out there and start protesting again. So I started my 9/11 protesting, and I got involved with journals for 9/11 Truth. And there I learned a lot. I mean, I wasn't our scholars for 9/11 Truth. And I wasn't a scholar, I was a teacher, but they admitted me into the organization online. And I got to meet a lot of names out there.
Yeah, I wanted just to chime in. So, you're from Milwaukee, and in 2007, were you part of this presentation this interview with Dr. Jim Fetzer, April 25th, 2007? This is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then Judy. Yeah, and I believe actually that's a different one. Yeah, so you were part of this one, right?
Right, I sponsored that event. Yeah. It was at Serb Hall. Okay, it was at Serb Hall.
Okay.
I got to know Fetzer and I got to know Jim Fetzer, Kevin Barrett. Another person that was there that came to speak at that conference. That was my first 9/11 Truth conference, where I sponsored the speakers to come in. Okay. The other one was Gary Franchi. If you know that name, he does Next News You can get it on the internet all the time. The Next News organization. So he's pretty well known. But back then he was the 9/11 truther from Chicago. And he came up, and those three spoke about all the inconsistencies on 9/11 at that conference. We had quite a few people. I'd say we had close to 100 people at that conference at that time.
Yeah, and so from that, Jim Fetzer, yeah, he was very supportive of Judy Wood, it appears. And then nowadays, you can see his Twitter, he's posting some nonsense about some nuclear weapons underneath underneath the towers.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to bring up about him.
Yeah.
Some of the emails, I'll bring it up.
Yeah, and you had dinner with him and his wife, you said as well.
Yeah. I put him on I ran a TV show for 3 years called Meet the Truth. And it was a local access TV program that, I ended that show because we lost our funding. The state didn't want to fund these local access programs. They were doing probably too much of the kind of stuff that I was bringing out there, about the 9/11 stuff and other conspiracies and stuff like that. Who knows why, but state government stopped all that funding for many of the and that goes on all over the United States for local access TV programming. They won't do it anymore, That was one way we could get, at least locally, we could get some of this news to people because the media wasn't giving it to them right, So that was one of the shows I did called Meet the Truth.
Yeah, and I have some photos of that.
I'm going to take them of Meet the Press.
Yeah. Okay.
Before that, yeah, there's my show right there with two of the guys that I worked with, and before that,
there's Fetzer and there's David Ray Griffin.
Yeah, that was at the Milwaukee. That was at the Milwaukee when David Ray Griffin spoke.
Okay, and 9/11 Revision is asking a question. Was Bob Fertakas at that conference as well?
I know who he is.
Was he at that same conference in Milwaukee?
He might have been there, because I know who he is. I just can't remember. I think he was there. Yeah, I know who Bob Fertakas is, right?
Yeah, I know. So was he at that conference? That's because I think there was because Judy Wood was helping him present or helping organize one of them. Let's see if I can.
I wrote it. I got this sheet. I gave you that. You can show them that. The stuff that I did over the last 6 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have that. I posted that. I posted that in my Telegram.
Yeah, you posted that. Okay. So.
Wanted to show this first. Is so this is Bob Fertakas. I just wanted to sort of chime in because Judy Wood at the end, she's in the ending of this. I don't know why it's hard to see it. Okay. I just want to
make chefs.
I think Judy Wood starts helping in this conference. Does this ring a bell in any way?
Third day of 9/11, but I think that was in. That might have been in New York.
Okay. Okay. There's Fetzer and there's Judy Wood right there. Can you see them?
There's Judy Wood. No, Judy Wood wasn't in the Milwaukee. No, I never got her to Milwaukee.
Okay. So that's
no. You know where that is?
Yeah.
No, that's in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's the Madison one. Yeah.
Bob Fertakas was there. Yeah, that's. I filmed that whole conference. It was a 2-day conference. I sent you all the videos there, so they're on that page that you made up. You can find Morgan Reynolds, Ace Baker, Judy Wood.
Let's see.
There was quite a few people there.
I have it right here, so you can see all of them here. So Matthew Naus 9/11 activist events. So first one was February 26th, Coast to Coast Radio. George Nuri, Fetzer, this David Ray Griffin, and Morgan Reynolds.
Yeah, but I never heard those two that night when I got tuned in. I never heard. I must have fell asleep, but I did hear Fetzer. He must have been the first one on the show that night.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Coast to Coast probably one of the first things. Like when I was driving, when I went to UBC, I would drive in my university. When I was drive home, sometimes I put the radio on and then usually listen to music, and then occasionally I'm like, let's just see what else is on. So I'm testing out the radio stuff, and then Coast to Coast was one of the ones I listened to occasionally. It was pretty interesting. They would talk about.
They got into a lot of alien stuff.
Yeah, the alien stuff. Yeah. But
Yeah, they got to do a lot of it. Yeah, I heard a lot of those shows in the '90s.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was still a bit out
Okay,
there for me to jump in. Yeah, go on.
So really the first conference. The first conference that I went to, I didn't sponsor it, was actually the Chicago 9/11 Truth Conference, which was between 6/2 and 6/4 of '06. So early June of 2006. That's where I met Fetzer, Stephen Jones,
And
Alex Jones.
Yeah,
There was a lot. Of
all the
people
Jones.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I went to lunch with Stephen Jones.
Stephen Jones. Well, yeah, I saw some
Yes.
photos of him.
He came up. Now wait, look before that. The line before that. First person to join a new website called Veterans for 9/11 Truth.
Wow, you're co-founder.
So I started with Alfonso Shesky. Me and him were co-founders for Veterans for 9/11 Truth, and a lot of people heard. And our logo was that upside down flag.
Yeah.
Now and so that was the logo we used for that website, and our cards and everything we put out. You know, that stayed, but I didn't last long with that because I had a little falling out with Alphonse. We went to New York, DC and New York, and I don't know what happened. He got to drinking a little bit, and got kind of ornery with me, and I left him the next day. He had to fight his own way home. I think he lived in Ohio.
Who is that? Who is that? I was busy searching up
The other co-founder.
Oh, the other one.
But you know,
Yeah.
we made amends after that. You know,
Yeah. And let's just see. Yeah. So basically, I have this link set up. I had a list of things that we can basically talk about and so on. And one of them I added near the end. But I wanted to just go over it now because he was in a lot of your photos. Let's say, I think I wrote it somewhere here. Yeah, your fellow protester with the sunglasses. The guy who's always in the photos. So in the profile photo that I uploaded, I'll share this tab.
yeah,
So this guy here, he was with you
this guy
way
right
back.
here.
Yeah. Was that
Yeah.
the co-founder as well, or no, or a different guy?
No, he wasn't. No, in fact, he was so he hated Republicans so much. I had to try to get him on the right road. But he was a faithful guy for many years with me, helped me hold those banners up, you know. But he just he got too strung out on Republicans, and finally we had a parting of the ways, you know. He just had this big hatred for Republicans, and he never let it go, you know.
Yeah.
But that wasn't Alphonse. You'll see a picture of Alphonse Oshesky. He's out there. You can find him on the internet.
Okay.
In fact, I think I sent you a video of him doing with one of the what was the name of the videos that I sent you? Loose Change. He did I think it was with
Luke, yeah, there's a photo there. I have actually, if I go to Telegram, I have some scheduled posts here of a bunch of disinfo agents, I call it. This is let me just scroll over here. So I had there's a whole list. Yeah, so a whole list of people here.
Here they all are.
David Ray Griffin.
Here's me with David Ray Griffin.
Yeah, and then there should be.
We were at a restaurant. I went to Chicago to hear him speak. So, and then the one here is from Milwaukee.
Yeah, this Fetzer.
This was the Milwaukee event with no, go back one. Yeah, go to these pictures. I can show them.
And then there's the Luke.
Okay.
This is the.
There's Luke Redkowski, right?
Yeah. And
and then here's Fetzer and Barrett.
Oh, that's
the Veterans for 9/11. We gave a check.
There's Alex
to
Jones.
the university.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Alex Jones.
Okay, yeah. And then
what do they tell you about Alex Jones? I'll never let that guy put his arm around me ever again. And I don't want to get into all the stuff that I know about him.
And I got a question from an island versionist. Says, ask Mr. Naus, what happened to the Department of Energy CIA agent Stephen A. Jones? Is he dead? And also Paul Lovell says, can we talk about new information instead of talking about what the guest has done? Well, I do like, this is more about like going over what the guest has done, so we'll see how it goes. But the question about Stephen A. Jones,
okay, we can get back to that in a little bit.
Okay, there's Alex Jones. I know. Yeah. Have you heard anything about Stephen A. Jones? Anything happened to him? And there's you with Stephen A. Jones.
No, I didn't hear anything. He's still alive.
Is he alive?
You know,
Okay.
as far as I know.
So this is all-star lineup. You got Stephen A. Jones, Fetzer.
Yeah, that's in Chicago. That picture was in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they were the two guys that ran Scholars for 9/11 Truth, and that's me, you know, filming some of the speeches and all that. I did a lot of that.
And yeah. And you said you made this sign as well?
I made that. Yeah, that's in New York in 2007.
So this is literally by,
I brought that to. I drove to New York in my van, so I was able to carry some of this stuff, and I made that sign, and and that sign was pretty prevalent, and that was one of the biggest marches for 9/11 Truth there ever was.
Yeah,
it march in 2007.
And this is another one. This is the delving into September 11th conspiracy. So you were in an article right here, September 12th, 2009.
That's the Milwaukee Journal.
Yeah.
And they
have a link as well.
They brought up stuff. I got in the newspaper probably 3-4 times, different articles in newspapers. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, Paul, I'm gonna venture. There's a guy in the comments. He just wants to. Yeah, he kind of wants to like learn about other stuff. But I just want to speak to Paul. Yes, Paul. So I'll be doing a exotic vacuum objects deep dive later. Especially. Speaking because he wants new information. Well, so I was able to buy. Yes, I'm gonna. I was able to buy from John Hutchison $350 USD of samples. So he shipped it. He shipped it over to me. It's in the mail, and basically, and that's why. But it cost me a lot of money. So if you guys want to become super fans and donate, help out. So I'm gonna be doing some testing on Hutchison samples at UBC, and John has actually sent me a whole bunch of stuff, photos and documents that many universities have actually tested his samples. Even UBC, the one I was at. So they've already tested it. But anyways, guys, super fan, and I'll send some photos of John. And there's a very good likelihood I may get John Hutchison and his wife on for a future live stream. So that'll be epic. So let's have a look at the tracking. Here, I put the tracking. Okay, share this tab. So here I ordered from John Hutchison, and it should arrive. Item arrived in Belling, whatever. Product for up to $200, insurance included. Anyways, so I ordered a bunch of samples, and I could show just one image of one of the samples, which looks quite amazing. Actually, I think I have a photo here. Just sorry for sidetracking. This is just important stuff here. Share this tab, and let's go to Hutchison, and then we'll go back to the topic at hand. Hutchison sample. Okay, I just paid 500. Canadian 360. So I got this sample and I think 4 more. Wow. This one is pretty epic. If you look at the.
It is epic.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a great example.
Yeah, and you can see this like spoon that just got like twisted and stuck inside this other metal sample here. So this one here, I paid for this one, and Hutchison is so this is the one I got. Right here.
It is on video.
Yeah, so I got this one. I'll do some testing on it and some other stuff. But look at what it's done to this. It's just like completely.
I think salvage
looks like you got some heavy ones.
Yeah. It's like 6 pounds total of the box.
Yeah.
He says it was like $60 just a box. Initially it was like 100 USD, just the box shipping, and then you had to go and fix it up. But anyways, so that'll be epic. And so I'll do exotic vacuum objects in future live stream. All right, and let's continue. Yeah, so you were saying stuff here, and also, so if you can see my screen, here's some of the stuff, a list of stuff to talk about. We've already gone through some of them. So you have 1 billion photos. You have more Dr. Judy Wood books than I do, and the question I've asked is, how many have you bought in your life? Like at least 100 or something.
I probably bought 40 of those already. Passed them out. I got 4 left on my shelf back here. Yeah. You can see them.
Oh, 4 left. Yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah, so I have 2 left, but I always send them. And I'm going to actually open up your Facebook. And this one's actually, so you had a heart attack last year. So that's
Yeah, I had one in August. It was a mild one. I was lucky.
yeah. So
It was a
there's
mild
you
one, and there I am. Yeah,
with your
I have
grandkids.
6 grandkids.
Yeah.
I
there it
had
is.
this. You know, part of the reason I got into the 9/11 Truth movement was for my daughters. I want them to have a safe life when they grow up. But now I got 6 grandkids. Over the last 5 years, I just got 6 grandkids now. I want the young people to get involved in this because it's so important, and I'm willing to put myself out there, right, like I'm doing today, because that's what it's all about. It's about getting the young people to be more active in.
No, it is true, but it's also like it's truth, right? It's like this is like important stuff.
Yeah, it's truth.
And if you think about like when people go watch a movie, they want to watch something with a lot of excitement. They don't want to go watch a boring movie. So it's like it's same thing with life. You want to do something boring, or do you want to? This is pretty epic stuff. So I don't see anything more valuable or entertaining than exploring 9/11. How old is the sample? And it's or just someone's asking about that sample. I'm not sure. Yeah. You determine use of information. There's a lot of on that Hutchison samples. There's actually a whole lot of tests done on a whole bunch of these ones as well, and they show different elements here. So they'll show like at the area that was affected, and then versus the areas around it, it's a lot different. There's different elements that weren't even present initially. So it's pretty epic stuff. All right. And and also your sister. Okay, let's go. I'm just gonna fast forward a whole bunch of these stuff, and another one here is, so Matthew Naus DVD playlist. So you sent me a whole bunch of DVDs, and then so I put them all in a playlist. Initially, I put them on YouTube,
right?
And then I got a copyright, or not a copyright. I got a warning. It's pretty much like a strike because one of the guys said the H1N1 vax was a bioweapon. All right.
It's funny. You see this one here, the one from the Madison conference.
Yeah.
The Scholars for 9/11 Truth. What's controversial? What's not? It's funny because Ace Baker was there.
Oh yeah.
And real chummy with Dr. Wood, and look what that guy did along with Fetzer on some of these radio. And I got a few radio clips of that. Yeah. How they treated her.
Yeah, and have you heard of Ace Baker actually faked his death on live radio? Have you seen that?
He faked his death, yes. He's talking about Hutchinson making fake videos, and he's telling I can prove. I'll bet $100,000.
Yeah, but the thing is, I believe Hutchinson has faked like a video or two, but it kind of like a joke. It's pretty. Some of them are pretty obvious. He just has a string moving around, but that's him. And so I wanted to show this here in the Rumble one here. So I put all the DVDs that worked. Like a lot of them did work. He even had the Richard Gage one here. But the one I wanted to show was the Bill Clinton one where you're calling out Bill Clinton. Like, that's funny.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the photo you have of him with that, I think that Chandler or that handler girl.
Let me listen for the audience. After I left, they're all saying, "Get him out of here." They follow Bill Clinton's words. Okay, listen now.
Hey guys, listen to this is
okay. Let me tell them where I was.
Okay.
He came to the Italian Community Center in Milwaukee to campaign for his wife, and I used this picture because we didn't know this at the time I did this with this picture, but this picture is just telling you this guy's a liar.
Yeah,
this guy is.
This girl, I think she was like in Eminem music videos or something like that, or connected to a whole bunch of.
Well, that's Rachel Chandler.
Yeah, Rachel Chandler. That's his name.
Yeah.
Let's see where this is from. You can do reverse image search, or just build.
So I walked in on his speech, and I had a little 9/11 Truth banner inside my shirt, and I pulled it out and I disrupted his speech.
Okay, let's see here. Bill Clinton swears he's never been on the Lolita Express, and he's never met Rachel Chandler, and he's never been to Pedo Island. But here's a photograph of Bill Clinton, the 14-year-old Rachel Chandler on the Lolita Express on the way to one of his 27 trips.
And you know what? My daughter was, my second daughter was only like 12 years old, and I took her to see her first president, and it was Bill Clinton.
Wow. All right.
That was before I knew of all this stuff about him.
Okay, it's just an Italian community center, and let's play this one here.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard to hear, so we have to be very quiet. Guys, listen carefully. You might have to increase your volume.
Say this, if you do not believe that the Al-Qaeda terrorists, 19 of whom were from Saudi Arabia, I think, killed 3,000 people on 9/11, including more than 200 other Muslims, and you really do think it was an inside job, you should vote for someone else for president. You need another candidate.
Hold on.
Those of us from New York who had to look at those long lines of heartbroken family members and who know the evidence, particularly those of us who knew people in the Secret Service and other government services that perished. We're glad that America allows that gentleman free speech, but we don't feel constrained to agree with him.
He called me a gentleman. I was not a gentleman. I was disruptive.
Yeah.
I disrupted his speech.
Yeah, and then Bill Clinton, the usual. Tries
When
to
I
spin it
when
around.
I left that when I left that building, I walked out on my own accord. I didn't get, yanked out of there. I got out of the building, and I was walking down the sidewalk in the back of the building where the parking lot is, and a private detective was following me, who I didn't know he was a private detective, and he's yelling my name.
Mm-hmm.
He knew my name. Never met the guy, and he knew my name.
Wow.
So they knew they had, that meant that they had a book on me already about with all my protests that I did. They knew something about me.
Yeah, 100%.
And then,
They probably knew about your protest in the JFK one too. All right.
I met the cop the next day because I protested another thing with I think it was John McCain. I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in town or something, and he came up to me and he let me go that day when I walked out. Some big sheriff put his arm on my shoulder and stopped me from walking. I told him I didn't do anything wrong. I said I just yelled at his. I didn't believe what he said. I yelled at him and I walked out.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop says, yeah, he didn't do anything. We can let him go. I said, I'm not talking to any of you guys. And they let me go. But then the next day I saw that same cop, and he said my job was he told me his job is to protect these guys that come into town, these politicians. He said, so I have to look up people that that are protesters like you. And I found a little stuff on you. That's how I knew your name. He told me that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no, that's how it is. Okay, so I made Paul Loveless just admin. I saw your email. Yeah, basically he's gonna help out getting rid of people in the chat that are causing mayhem, or like.
a lot of crazy man.
Well, some of them are just an insult of Gore. I think he says.
Sounds like a girl.
Yeah, sounds like a girl.
I've sounded like a girl all my life. That does not surprise me.
Let's go.
Thank you. You're right. I've heard that in phone calls. I have a high voice.
Okay. And then that's life, but not as you know. It says Clinton says Bill Cooper was the most dangerous man on U.S. radio. He actually did say that. And speaking about Bill,
Yeah, Bill Cooper's when I was bringing up. I tried to remember his name.
Yeah, and then Bill Clinton.
Another one they killed.
Here's a clip of Bill Clinton when he was in a trance. This was your throwback to when Bill Clinton was literally under a mind control trance. Right here. Let's see if this is playing. Yeah. Have you seen this video of him? He just looks like he's completely and utterly out of it. All right. See, he's laughing. Nice. Okay. Yeah, this one he's just completely and utterly in a trance. I'm gonna go fast forward, double speed. Let's see, double speed, triple speed. I'm gonna go 4 times speed and then see if his eyes are anywhere move. Okay.
There's no blinking.
Yeah, and that was a 9x speed. Okay, so I'll make it 16x speed. So basically every second is 16 seconds. Let's see how many times he blinks. This is some investigative work we're doing right now. Okay, so look, okay, there it is. He's not blinking. This is 16x speed. Okay, so literally a whole minute straight, no blinking. And then I included this. Jeffrey Epstein told victim Bill Clinton likes them young. All right. And there's another one. Bill Clinton, he was talking about his wife, about Hillary, that Hillary speaks to the dead. Yeah, Hillary speaks to the dead. Actually, it was good. This one here. Every 9/11, never forget, guys.
Did you know that yeah, that's the Hillary's
Yeah.
spaz attack going into that man.
So guys, never forget, guys. Yeah, just throw them in there. And just toss it in there. Okay, so actually we'll go to the one more and then we'll go back on track. I kind of like going sidetracks tiny bit sometimes.
You know, did you know that Bill Cooper called out Alex Jones way early in his career? Just told everybody on his radio show?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I saw it because he was on the show before.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Because as all of you famously learned when I served as president, my wife, now the Secretary of State, was known to commune with Eleanor on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And so she called me last night on her way home from Peru to remind me to say that Eleanor had talked to her and reminded her that I should say that.
Yeah, so she's saying Eleanor Roosevelt, who's dead, was contacting Hillary. And even I put a Snopes fact check. They all said agree. Hillary Clinton communes with the spirit of Eleanor Roosevelt. Mostly true. So yeah. So what? All right. So actually, no, I showed it right here. Okay. Sometimes
what was Hillary doing in? What was she doing in Peru? Was she finding children?
Mm-hmm. In Peru. Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, yeah, possibly. All right. Let's continue further. Try to get the most out of this live stream. All right. Actually, yeah, before we get further, so very little noise on 9/11. I just want to throw this in there. This was actually Paul Loveless sent me, so I made him an admin, and he sent me this one here. This is a great bit of stuff here. Noise, is it? Actually, okay, I have it scheduled. So I will have a look here. And this is a witness testimony. I'm not sure if you've seen it before, and I think it's somewhere down here. I'm just gonna scroll through it, and then we'll get back to some other stuff. Okay. Let's see.
I also like to read a couple emails when you get a chance.
Oh yeah. We'll read some emails, and then some of the Judy Wood stuff here. Okay, this one right here. So Paul Lovell sent me this one, and then I went and looked it up. So this is Deputy Chief Medical Officer David Present on November 14, 2001, and the interview date during the New York Times World Trade Center Task Force interviews. So he says right here, he says that no matter how I stretch my mind and no matter how many firefighters I talk to, what I think most about is a universal concept that there was not a lot of noise with this collapse. A little bit of noise. I don't know why that is. Maybe because it imploded inwards. Maybe because the noise was dampened by other buildings around it. It was not a lot of noise. It was enough noise for all of these people to start running, but not enough noise for me to be all that concerned. I have to say I ran because they ran. All right, so for whenever the explosive disinfo people point out, that someone heard an explosion. Well, this one here is saying that most heard nothing, which is a far more telling than someone hearing an explosion sound, which could be many things. But not many things give out zero noise in terms of like the buildings disappearing. All right, and so you wanted to read some of the emails.
First of all, I want to bring this up real quick. Okay, first time I met Dr. Judy Wood was in New York City, and she was at Cooper Hall, and she gave her a little speech there on the bowling ball or ping pong or whatever, the balls falling off the tower.
Yeah, the billiard ball.
Yeah, the billiard balls. Right. So, and I talked to her after the speech and stuff like that. and it was the first time I met her. Then I met her again in 2007. And the next year when she came to Fetzer's Scholars for 9/11 Truth Conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oh wait, I forgot one. After the New York thing, she did exactly what I did. I went from New York to Washington D.C. the next day because the conference and the speakers at Cooper's Hall in New York, that was on the 10th of September. Okay, and we had a big rally in front of the Cooper's Hall with a whole bunch of posters and signs, and there was a lot of truthers there. So then me and Alphonse, that's the other guy that ran Veterans for 9/11 Truth with me, we all night we drove down to D.C. and Judy went to speak with Morgan Reynolds, Bob Bowman, and that astronaut. I can't think of his name. But anyways, they all spoke that morning with the press club or something there, one of the press clubs over there and they were bringing up what they wanted to talk about with 9/11, and so then they came to the White House. We weren't on the White House's lawn, but on the other side of the fence there's a big lawn, and we had a speaker podium there. And on the 5th anniversary of 9/11. I was there with Judy Wood. I spoke at the podium a little bit. I did a little poem I did, and Judy Wood spoke, and Morgan Reynolds spoke, and that astronaut. Can't think of his name, but he was there. That's what I remember. And then I met her in 2007, and then I kept in contact with her throughout the rest. Not real much, but that because I kind of lost touch with Judy Wood for a while there, and I didn't know enough about her, even though I went to her website and I had some stuff. It wasn't until I started promoting her that I started realizing the stuff that was going on with her. And then I actually ran into Andrew Johnson with some emails and all that, and he was on Scholars for 9/11 Truth.
You have asymmetrical damage.
There's the one she did this in front of them. That was on the 5th anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2006. That's amazing. Yeah, and Reynolds there too. And
yeah,
I think I've seen
there's Bob Bowman. He was the Star Wars director.
Oh, really?
The other guy, that was the astronaut. What was his name? I have it written down.
Brian O'Leary?
Yeah, Brian O'Leary. That's
because I put names from the DVD that you sent.
Yes, that's Brian O'Leary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is epic footage.
So those were the 4 speakers.
Yeah.
Well, I hung out with Judy Wood that whole day.
No.
We went to a theater, and there was a thing with Citizens for something. It was a group in D.C., right, that sponsored this, and they had the podium set up for us. And then I remember there was an older woman that was with us, and then we had another woman that was driving a car, and I remember Judy falling asleep on my shoulder.
Yeah, that's great.
It was a long day for her. She fell asleep, and we were in that theater, and she fell asleep on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I kept watching her, but it's kind of funny. I still got involved with Gage and David Ray Griffin. Okay, people know that I did a 10-city tour. No, first I did the 15-city tour for David Ray Griffin. I set up that whole tour for 15 cities and helped him out. He actually wrote something in one of his books, and he thanked me in one of his books. And then because of that tour, somebody from Madison called me up and said, I know Gage really well. I think Gage would really like you to help him out with a tour in the Midwest. So then next year I did a whole 10-city tour for Gage. Yeah. And it was during that 10-city tour that I sold Gage Judy Wood's book, because that was in 2011. And it was in the spring of 2011, and Gage was in my van. I was driving him to Chicago, and he saw the book in the middle of my van between the 2 seats, and he started reading all the summaries that they had on the end of chapters. And I was telling Gage at that time, yeah, I'm doing your tour, but hey, there's a lot of evidence here. And I just started reading this book, and this is something you should be getting into. And he bought it, so I thought he'd get into it, but then it turns out the Peoria stop is where Abraham Rodriguez confronted Gage about how, and then I found out about Judy, about what they were doing to Judy Wood. He knew that when I was with him, but he wouldn't tell me that, that they were, censoring her and all that stuff with the architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth. If anybody brought up her name. So.
Yeah. Have you seen that video clip of me calling out Gage? Like me in the Zoom call, I asked a question and then me and him got in a little confrontation. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he like soon after that. One of his lawyers said, "Are you espousing the theories of Judy Wood?" And then I said, "Yeah, we all know she's right." And then the lawyer says, "I don't know that she's right." Then I'm like, "Gage knows." And then soon after, Gage is like, "Okay, let's just end this." He didn't know what to say. All right. Yeah, Abraham Rodriguez is a must-have on this show, and yeah.
And me and him had an email contact quite a bit over a period of time there.
And Christoph Jung says, Matthew, thank you for your work pushing this and the history of it forward. Yeah, for sure. That's why that's why I wanted to have this live stream, get the history in there, because you've been pushing this for a lot longer, and we need a whole lot of people doing this, because especially because like the disinfo agents are still going. Like Richard Gage is doing like a worldwide tour or something, like everywhere. Currently he's doing live streams with every other show, even Roger Stone. And
wow.
so they're not stopping. Fetzer's still on Twitter pushing the same nonsense he posted 10 years ago. So we got to keep going. And also I want to congrats to 9/11 Revisionist, who just has 9,111 followers on Twitter just now. So 9/11 gets 9/11 followers.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's pushing it.
He does great work.
Yeah. He got me motivated to start promoting 9/11 more, even doing these live streams and so on, and even talking.
Remember, I told you about the email with. Can you bring that up? The first page of that email for with Reprehenser, 9/11 blogger.
Oh, the 9/11 blogger. Oh, the email that you forwarded.
Yeah, 9/11 blogger was the big website that everybody went to talk about 9/11.
Okay, I will open.
The regular Joe off the street.
Yeah, the 9/11 blogger.
And he was one of the administrators.
Yeah,
so
administrator for 9/11 blogger. Yeah, and he told you to change your profile because you added some controversial.
Yeah, he was congratulating me because on my website, after veterans, I started my own website, Take a Stand for 9/11 Truth. Mm-hmm. Well, I was able to collect over something like 4 or 5 years. I got 600 some people to sign up on that website. 2 of those people were Jones and David Ray Griffin, right? Mm-hmm. And this was the time I started putting Judy Wood stuff on my website, right? And he's telling me, how to do it. You gotta read this. See how he puts it.
Yeah, it says, dear Matt.
This was kind of good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna read it. Congratulations on your 50-state success.
I got people from every state to join that site. Every state in all 50 states. Right.
And it says, since this could raise your profile, I think it's important for your site to present the best 9/11 sites to the public. And I want to point out some links on your front page that trouble me. I'll start with Dr. Judy Wood. And I noticed her website before was Jane Doe. Whoops, where is it going? Go back here. It was Jane Doe 0911.tripod.com. So this was the original one, and then it actually goes to here. So if I gotta copy this link. So this was her original one, and then it redirects here in 5 seconds to drjudywood.com. So you can see it here. It's redirecting, and it's gonna redirect. So this is old school. Okay, yeah. So yeah, basically this is a website, and let's go back to it. So she was a Jane Doe before. So this is what I mean. The history is important to understand. Like the knowledge we have now didn't just like pop out of nowhere. This had a lot of people put in a lot of time and effort, and interacting with disinfo agents that they didn't realize they were like that. That's really the worst. Yeah. So like I used to watch Alex Jones, and so before, well, I always knew he's probably half because he seems a bit outlandish, but I didn't know he was covering up 9/11 like that big. That was.
You know, everyone goes through a learning process.
Yeah,
You start searching for truth. You know, and you pretty soon if you're a legit person, you're really after truth. You start noticing things, and that's what happened. Like Andrew Johnson, me. You know, they're telling me how to run my own website. You know.
Yeah, that's the thing, and there's a profile too. They're just saying you change your profile. And then the person says, what is a flake? It's true that she has an engineering degree, but gives her no expertise in top secret weaponry or its effects. What do you mean? Yeah. It's and her ideas.
And the space beams.
Yeah, the space beams.
Here he is. He's following Jones.
Yeah.
Judy never said that.
Yeah, and then he says, please check out these links when you have time. And he puts a Greg Jenkins nonsense right here.
Yeah. Look at this. Yes.
I went over the paper. It looks professional, but it's an absolute joke here, and it's all most of them are.
He was
Greg
just
Jenkins.
a young guy. Jones even, Stephen Jones, even promoted this guy a lot. You know, with when he was on with Alex Jones, and he's telling Alex Jones, "Oh, this guy, you know, he knows his business, and he's Greg. Oh my gosh."
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
So here's a paper from Greg Jenkins. This is a PhD in fake physics and disinformation. So he's saying the overwhelming plausibility of using directed energy weapons to demolish the World Trade Center towers. And again, notice the word demolish. So he puts a lot of random stuff here. Very few images. Let's go to let's see what he actually has nuts and bolts in terms of like an actual image. So he has, a cartoon. He has something there, up top view. All right, now he has... I just want to show some image. Okay, so he shows some here, a video of a fire. This is, again, weird fire with this paper unburned, and so on. And let's see what else he shows. Okay, so he didn't show anything in this one. Okay, so that was... Because remember, the main argument is towers turn to dust. So that was one... Let's check this one here. Solving the Great Steel Skyscraper due demolition contrary evidence. I just wanted to show... I was one of them that I was looking at. Okay, so here's another one from Jenkins that you were sent. Okay, this is 63 pages. Let's see how much... Okay, so it looks all professional, but it's... Again, there's very little images. The main evidence is visual evidence of the tower turning dust. And, okay, so they got some dust there. All right. Okay, so they got... so far hasn't shown anything. Okay, now they show this. But look what he says here. He says, South Tower viewed from the south on Warrington Street. Note the debris stack is at least 2 to 3 stories above street level when viewed from this perspective. Photo was taken well before 9/23/01. Okay, so they look at this and say, look, it's multiple stories. What he's ignoring is, why is the wall here standing on its own? And this is a bad perspective. Well, even then, it's not even that high. The actual debris should be above my mouse. It should be much, 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 much higher, and most of it is ground level. This is
12, 13 stories high.
Yeah. So he's saying it's actually 2.
Yeah.
And then it's like this photo somehow here, the debris stacks well above the ground level. No, it's mostly ground level. These people are on ground level right there.
It's ground level.
This part here, is just like slightly above there, but it shouldn't just be all into this little blob there. And what I will show is this. On my MES links, right here, I have some photos here. So before and after, and so what they do is they do a great job of minimizing or just ignoring. So here's the giant towers. Here's what's left over, and what he was showing was a photo from this perspective, like showing only this part. So he's saying, look, it's multiple.
You're not getting that up.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so I clicked it. Yeah, you don't have to click the thing. Okay, so here's the photos that they don't show. Like this is the one that Richard Gage wouldn't show on his Zoom call. Okay,
That's the one I put on the banner.
Yeah, so this giant building, it turned dust, and then Hey, if you go back to, I'm gonna go back and forward just to show you the kind of nonsense that this fake doctor does. So he says, from this perspective, look, it's multiple stories, 2 stories, 3 stories, 2 to 3 stories. He's saying, all right. And now if you go see what the actual it is in context, he was showing this part here from like an angle that ignores that it's all ground level outside of this little blob. But even then, it should be like much higher. So I just don't even understand what this guy's. Yeah. So well the guy is an obvious liar. He's the one with the if you've seen it, does a duping delete. Okay, they blame communication confusion. Okay, so that's life, but not as we know it. Shared. Okay, which one did you share? That's life, but not as we know it. And yeah, some of your stuff is pretty epic stuff. Okay, people work around the algorithm and hit that like button. Okay, average debris should be 12% of 110 stories. So yeah, about 13 to 14 stories. Well, the way I think of it is, if 110 story buildings fell, you would know. You would know. There wouldn't be a debate. There wouldn't be a question. Like you would know.
That one building that had the dome on top, it was right there. Not one piece hit it.
Yeah.
You know, come
that
on.
was that was actually the first photo that I posted on my 9/11 activism.
And then you hear all the time about they flew 400 feet, 600 feet out. No, there we saw. I from all the pictures I've seen, I see one picture of a beam in another building.
Yeah, there's just one.
One picture.
Yeah, and that's the one they zoom in and then they ignore everything else. And
right.
So there's a little blob.
All these beams flew out 400 feet. No, they didn't.
They just turned to dust. Yeah, they turned to dust. Like, where are they?
That was all aluminum cladding. There was little pieces of aluminum cladding flying in the air there.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Let's go. Yeah, 9/11. Okay, the Zoom clip of you guys really is great. Yeah, the Zoom one with me and Richard Gage. So this one right here, there's giant holes in this. I think in building 6, and there's this one's undamaged. Like, so all these like 1 million tons of steel and concrete and office equipment and so on didn't even touch this. Like that's okay. Yeah, have you seen the pilot episode?
Turned to dust. That picture proves it.
Okay. Yeah, someone's asking. Yeah, so have you seen the pilot episode of Lone Gunman aired? Yeah, I believe I have. The one that they're like, is it the gunman or the pilot supposed to fly into a building at the WTC? Yeah. But yeah, so this is like literally frothing up. It's not falling down. It's frothing up, and it's irrefutable. This was June 22nd, 2017. It's pretty much when I went full on. Yeah, and here's a post from 9/11 Revisionists. Let's go. Okay, now. Let's continue further. Let's see, destroying the 9/11. Let's see some more stuff here we can continue on. I just want to actually have a look at the stream stats. So here's the stream stats. You can see some of the comments being made. So we have 29 people, 28 or /29, pretty good. And there's some comments right here. Okay, some people, so that's life, but not as we know. It's shared. It's pretty epic. Okay. Yeah, guys, let's overcome the trolls and hit the like button, leave a comment, separate from the chat to help spread the word. For sure. And also donate, because I spent like $500 on that samples. And I'm also going to buy another thing I'm buying. So this was from, I got tagged from here, American, I think mentions here. Actually, have you ever... Yeah, Matthew Naus, have you ever spoken with or interacted with alien scientists?
Yeah, that's Jeremy Rides.
Yeah. So
I got an email. I got an email from him. I gotta find that one.
Okay, because I have a huge Twitter like.
Yeah, I did have an email from Jeremy. He did something with me. Well, I had fights with him on the internet.
Yeah,
that's alien science.
I have one right now. Yeah, I'm going out of my.
He's not to be trusted. Let me tell you, not to be trusted.
Yeah, the guy's a liar, but it's also like disgusting. Like he has some photos of Judy Wood, like he has her eye falling off or something. Like what is going on here? But okay, here's another thing I'll be buying from American Fathers here. I'm buying this 3D printout.
Check it out.
Actually, I don't want to. I'll just leave them. Yeah, so it's I'm ordering a 3D printout of the before and after the tower's gone. This is the one I want. There's a before, no, that's after, and there's the before. 3D printout, so that's gonna be pretty epic. All right, 31 watching right here. Okay, epic. Wasn't all the steel resold? If so, wouldn't that have an accurate event? No, not all. The remaining was taken, and most of it was put in the Fresh Kills thingy. Fresh Kills landfill, and then some of them were supposedly shipped to China, but there's barely any. Like, well, you have to realize, there's literally barely any steel. Like, you just look at the photo, there's barely relative to the initial amount. So basically, it's like, yeah, so whatever was shipped was nowhere near 500,000 tons of each building. You can actually hear that from the actual people looking at the stuff. But anyways, let's continue. Okay, so we went that part. Okay, so the next one was destroying the 9/11 Commission report. So,
Oh, yes.
yeah, this
That
is
was in my first year, 2006.
Yeah,
We actually got on Channel 12 News in Milwaukee,
yeah.
a big station. It was called the Milwaukee Tea Party for 9/11 Truth.
I think it was.
We burned. In fact, I did that like 4 years in a row. We'd have a little picnic, drink tea.
Yeah, so here it is. Here, first annual 9/11 myth destruction picnic, and
Yes.
let's say there it is. And you had
There it is.
there's Fetzer too. Look at him all suspicious. He's like making sure everyone's following the script. So this was your protest beforehand, before you realized.
That's right on the shores of Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
There's a little park there. Yeah.
Right. And there's the so you had the
We had a time thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shred it, compost it in real bullshit. We actually found some repeat on it. We put it in a cup, of course, using a balloon filled with mellow yellow, and poke a hole in it, drill holes in it. We did all those things in the 9/11 Commission report.
Yeah, and then you put it in the Kool-Aid. Okay, so dump it in
Yeah,
a jug
dump
of
it
Kool-Aid.
in a jug of red Kool-Aid. There's a picture of that.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
I have them all here. So so
Yeah,
this
there's
was
a lot.
all the picnic and hanging out.
I was lucky. I got quite a few people to get involved with me.
Yeah, 9/11 Commission
You
report
know?
is the red Kool-Aid. There it is. Well, let's go. This is a protest here. Surprised you didn't get arrested. And okay,
You
there
know,
it is.
it's funny how they spent so much money on that 9/11. Here's an old book. Look at this one. I'm going to put it up here on the 9/11 Commission report. Right there. See it?
Mhm.
Okay. This is a
Oh.
special edition
I should see that
of the
again.
9/11 easy to understand synopsis and key elements of the 585-page official report.
Oh, wow.
But the thing I liked about it, it had some great pictures in it. Pictures tell you a lot.
Mhm.
You can use pictures against them. Oh, they make sure they see all those terrorists.
Yeah.
That got here. The ones that are alive.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. I bought a lot of stuff over the years. See this one. I talked about this one by Eric Hufschmid.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, I want to show
Yeah.
that. I want to actually buy
Yeah.
that book. This book is quite amazing.
It came out in 2002.
Yes, this is. I believe. So I'm just gonna be guessing, but I believe that Judy Wood got like a lot of her information from, or just images from this guy. Because like.
Yeah, and he sounds honest because he didn't know. There's a lot,
Yeah.
That was early. He didn't know. He thought it was explosions, and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But this is 2002. But he showed
Yeah.
the photos, like.
He shows the photos.
Like
yes.
Richard Gage and them
See?
don't show the photos. Like they.
Yeah.
And a
And he
lot of
talks
these.
about it, and he questions things, all the time.
Yeah. So the thing is, when you like scan through that book, if you don't read the text, you like maybe mistaken for Judy Wood's book, because like it's one of the few that shows a lot of photos.
Yeah. There he showed the whole. That's all the pictures from the Pentagon.
Yeah.
And he brought that up. He brought up all three imaginary planes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The planes are there's something. I just don't know what it was, but I definitely don't view it as a conventional object.
This is probably the biggest thing that got me thinking about the lies of 9/11, and when I first started to realize this was all, it was the plane that crashed in Shanksville. And
Yeah.
they said it went deep, deep into the ground, and there was nothing to find. No luggage, no people. It was so fast, and it was going 500 miles an hour, and went deep, deep into the ground.
Yeah. There's that
I'm
photo.
telling you, anything made me say, what? If anybody is taking that for a real story, they got to have their head examined.
Yeah, there's one like I think I have a meme scheduled about the even the Pentagon, that one too, but the Pentagon one too. Let's see if I have it correctly. Like it needs to go so flat on the ground level. Like this is the
Yes.
yeah, so flat on ground level, which is absolutely ridiculous. There's also it's also like I think not even possible without like breaking stuff and hitting. There's Russian Ukraplanes. They use like a phenomenon when you're near the ground. There's actually an extra lift. So it's like, yeah. So there's extra lift. I think some other stuff here. Yeah, so basically, going to the ground, there's actually an even greater lift. So it's like it's not even able to go go straight that low level. But anyways, it is an absolute joke. All right, and I'm gonna continue. Let's see what here. Bucket brigades for weeks. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, a lot of There's a debate going about the steel. What happened to the steel right after the towers went away. Susie, Susie's asking about the steel. Does steel turn to dust naturally, or is this dustification? Well, technically, if you leave steel for like 100 million years, it will all turn to dust. So it's like whatever is being done to it is literally turning into dust in front of our eyes, like speeding up natural processes. So it's like, but yeah. So in other words, it is advanced technology being done. All right, let's continue and let's see how much time we have left.
Can I read this? Can I read this email from Judy Wood?
Oh yeah, you have these ones you sent. Yeah, for sure. Read them.
Okay, I'm going to start right now. Okay. On the speaking tour I just returned from, I began by showing them that the buildings turn mostly to dust, then stressed three things that keep people from seeing reality: problem-solving skills, groupthink, peer pressure, terrified of implications. Now, these are Judy Wood's words in an email to a organizer in the Peoria, Illinois, that I got to know really well, and I got him to think about Judy Wood stuff because he was, thinking, about Richard Gage and all that stuff, So Judy's writing to him. He wanted to hear from Judy personally. He said, unless we want to become trained lab rats, we must retain the ability to think for ourselves. It does not matter how many people follow Richard Gage. It doesn't make him correct. None of those following him are capable of conducting their own investigation, or they would have. They are followers. Matt was a follower until it hit him in the face. That's what Judy's words. I have an audio clip that might do the same for you, right? And then she goes on and on. I don't want to read the whole thing. And then she says down here, if Gage was promoting disinformation and suppressing my work, a lot more people would know the truth, and a lot more people would be seriously looking at the facts. As it stands, thinking engineers curious about 9/11 find Gage and Jones a laughing stock and decide the official story makes more sense. The official story makes more sense than what these guys are coming up with, about control them,
No, it is true because when I look at the mainstream one, it's very easy to debunk explosives, like the lack of noise.
Yes.
Which is otherwise would have been detectable through cameras or seismic signals, but nothing's there besides the usual people hearing explosions. But again, explosions don't equal explosives.
Right. And then you're going to like this part. If I were in their position, not knowing the evidence, I would likely conclude the same thing. There is a large number of engineers who have been turned off by the thermite story and have just walked away from questioning 9/11. Richard Gage only promotes an alternative official story that is even more bogus than the official one. and people go along with it because others do. It only takes one leader to lead a group astray. And she brings up the Tommy song from the Who. And here it is. Ready? The words.
Okay.
Listening to you, I get the music. Gazing at you, I get the heat. Following you, I climb the mountains. I get excitement at your feet. Right behind you, I see the millions. On you, I see the glory. From you, I get opinions. From you, I get the story. What she's talking about there in those words from the Who is followers. You know, how they follow a leader, you know, because they want to be part of the group, you know, just like that song.
No, 100%. All right.
Yeah.
And so I have a message from here from 9/11 Revisionist. He wants to play this video. Let's just play it here. And it's yeah, but that was a great email. What date was that?
Well, this was back when right after I did. Oh, I want to bring this up real quick. When I was done with Gage's tour, and I started to get on the Judy Band, really big time Judy Band, we almost were gonna. I was asking her about, are you gonna tour it? I said, I'll help you with it, right? And she had a couple people that were interested on the West Coast, but I don't know what happened. Something happened. They canceled or something, and it just didn't work. It just didn't follow through. And so our plans to have a tour kind of just, you know, just kind of burned up or, you know, turned to dust. So we didn't get the tour going. But
yeah, that would
I think there's a couple cancellations happened there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind even doing a tour if it's funded. I just want to put it all in my back pocket.
Now that you say that, I wouldn't mind supporting her, like at the 25th anniversary. I'd put some money up to help her just do one big thing in the Midwest, you know, and people could maybe easily get to see her and hear her presentation. So I'm putting that out there. I'll help support that, you know.
Okay. Yeah, and I was just seeing some comments here. Yeah, so Paul says, "Do is a theory." We do not know if it was do. No, do is not a theory. It's actually what happened.
No, it's not.
It's not a theory. It's like the evidence points to directed energy weapon as the only cause for it. So so it's not a theory.
That's James Fetzer right there.
Yeah,
always bringing.
So Paul, it's not a theory. Otherwise, we make you not make you moderator anymore. It's we don't discuss that. It's evidence. It's like if you see a car and it's like all burnt up, you don't theorize it was on fire. It was on fire. You see steel turn to dust through the only mechanism which is that's known as a Hudson effect. It's direct energy. Basically, direct energy just a general field of phenomena. Basically, saying that energy is directed in the same way as you can direct microwave energy. You can direct your cell phone. Like right now, we're talking through like either wireless, internet, or cell phones. We can observe the result and theorize as to the mechanism.
And to weaponize that, you add field effects.
No, but yeah, I know, I understand. But he's just saying it's we theorize. You could the mechanism, yeah, but the mechanism involves directed energy. Like directed, we're not saying you could theorize about the weapon, the model number of the weapon, what kind of a weapon, what kind of directed energy weapon it was. But it was a directed energy weapon. For example, if you see a car burnt up, you can theorize about the type of fire weapon that was used. But it was fire.
I like the way she says, "You know what you know." You know, you don't go into I believe. And,
there's no belief.
Know what you know when you're talking about it. You know.
Yeah, so basically, it's not a theory. It's directed energy is the class of whatever weapon that was used. So you can theorize on the actual specific weapon, but that weapon will involve directed energy. That's not a up for debate.
Right.
So that's the thing. We aren't talking theory right here. So in other words, towers turn to dust. Okay. The only way they could do that, it's either magic or directed energy. So yeah. Anyways, it's not a theory. Otherwise, we're not a moderator anymore. We can't do that. Anyways, we have so far it's an hour 48 minutes has gone by.
Okay. Well, you said that. I wish I would have saw that banner I made.
Yeah. That's all.
I'll just tell you a quick story about that. Before I made it, I was making homemade banners and all that, and I said I want to make a professional banner for Dr. Wood. So I called her and talked to her, and I put up, some illustrations of what I thought would be cool about it, and I put that one of those was the one that you see now, and she approved it. I sent her pictures and everything, and she approved it. She approved the banner. I didn't want to put something out that wasn't, because it was all about her book and her and her book, and what happened at the World Trade Center, and the word "what" being the key, what, and so when I put that banner together, she really liked it, and she approved it, and then I made 4 of them or something when I first. I think that's the only thing I did. Sent one to Andrew Johnson, one to Dr. Wood, and I think I kept 2.
Yeah. Like if I saw this walking by, especially if it was UBC, I've been right away. I've been like, all right, I knew what happened 9/11, because that's all it took was I just saw the front and back cover of I just saw the front and back cover of her book from Richard Hull and Andrew Johnson's
I have her
interview.
book on that T-shirt.
Yeah, and it is a T-shirt. So the T-shirt idea. So I put I kind of think like me and you are the same person in like different lifetimes. Because like
we got the same name, but you got that extra I in there.
Yeah, but mine was probably a typo. They were probably trying to spell like yours because they weren't fluent in English. Okay, so if you see that photo you have, so you have the T-shirt with the photo of her book. So I actually made one like on my store. No one has bought it yet. I never thought anyone would buy it, but I might as well put it anywhere in case. I'll buy it eventually too. But here.
When I did the video of the banner rolling over the architect's banner.
Yeah.
Because I had that, I owned an Architects for Engineers banner, and I did that. Well, once I was completely in her court, I took that Architects for Engineers banner and I burned it. And I almost died burning it because of the
guy.
Whatever they make, the films were getting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's epic stuff. Yeah, so here's a T-shirt I'm selling, so people can buy.
There you go.
And
that looks good.
Yeah, and it's bigger. It's bigger than this one, but there's just
I'm gonna order one.
Yeah, so if you want to order one, guys, you can go here. You can get it in a hoodie as well. I mean, it's not. I think of like a few people have bought shirts. No one bought that one, but someone has bought the Spire one. I think they've bought the Hurricane Aaron one, and someone bought the Spire. The Spire one is cool. See the Spire?
Yeah.
Spire. Yeah. Front and back.
Well, you can. Do you put the book on the front and that on the back?
Oh,
Can you do that?
I should do that actually. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If
That would work really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the book on the front and put that on the back.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Let's see here. I think let's see what the chat was saying, and we'll continue on our march. Okay. That's life, but now we know it. I'll need to get you both on live stream if you're up for it. It would be a pleasure. It would be a pleasure, and we are troll free. Okay. You're talking to me right there. That's life. Yeah, it would be cool to get on your live stream. I'll buy a book on Monday. All right, let's go. Buying a book on Monday, and I have a short URL. Judy Wood book. Let's go. MES FM's Judy Wood book. All right. Let's see if my thingy came off. But yeah, that's life. It would be cool to have a live stream as well. You could probably. I was actually gonna email or message you to get on my live stream. Okay. So there's a debate going on, but I think, yeah, Paul, the class of weapons. If you read Judy Wood's book, that's literally what she says, is the class of it. Yeah, there's different types. So it was cold dew, not hot dew was used, but it was dew. Like you can like specify what is being done.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Or,
yeah, Amy, I'm on the show, but I'm going to be done shortly. I'll call you back.
Yeah. So yeah, how much more time do you have? And so some people are messaging here. Richard Hall he's appearing in court. So you guys gonna support him? Message link. Richard Hall is in court soon. And
Yeah, I hear. I see they made him an administrator on the website.
which
Or
website? Okay, and so that's him, Richard Hall's there. And also another thing that's gonna happen is the Zoom call link. Not revisionist. Can you send to me a link of the Zoom one? You're actually gonna be doing a presentation. All right, and we're hot. It's Hans Fleischmann effect. Okay, Jody Maureen says, enjoy learning about your 50-year devotion to seeking the truth. I finally figured out how to get on the chat, Matthew. Jody, your late discovery sister. All right, is that your sister?
yeah, that's a half sister.
Oh,
right?
nice. Okay, so she finally realized how to get on the chat. Epic stuff. Oh, join on Telegram. Now, let's go. Okay, so now that's life, but now as we know, join Telegram.
Hello, Jody.
Yeah. Fusion. I'm hoping to. Oh yeah, can you send a link? Just message me, 9/11 Revisionist. I'll share your link to the Zoom call. So there's have you heard of Gene? What's the guy's last name? War Room, Gene something. He's another disinfo agent. Disinfo agent Gene Laratonda. Have you heard of him before?
That name sounds familiar. That Lara Tunda sounds familiar, but
Yeah,
I don't know. You know.
he does Zoom calls, or he does. I'll search up his name. He pushes the usual disinfo.
I'm kind of like 8 to 10 years almost removed from all that. You know, all the stuff I used to do. You know,
All right.
just
Okay.
I'm keeping it mild now in my old age.
Yeah, this guy, I think he was quite a while. Let's see what he looks like. Gene. Oh, why isn't it showing? It's hard to see stuff. 9/11.
Well, anybody that has the USA, the 9/11 thing there, that was all phony stuff too with that.
Okay.
Um,
Show the people here. Okay, there's the Zoom link. Show the people my article. Yeah, so I was on their live stream or a Zoom call on Sunday. I was trying to do a presentation. They wouldn't actually show any. They wouldn't let me present. So there's a presentation this Sunday. I may actually do it. All right. So here's a link to the Zoom call. I think the Zoom call would assume be in here. It would be inside here. All right. So here's an article that 9/11 Revisionist says. Okay, so that's life, but not as we noticed. Talking about, talking about explosions. Well, yeah, things can explode. There's Scott packs being exploded too, like inside the fire trucks, randomly exploding or behind their backs. Just things can make sound. Like you have 500,000 tons of each tower, just like turning dust and colliding and just exploding, just random pressure bursts. And also water tanks exploding. Random things can have explosion sound, but much less than explosives. There's a difference with the explosives. Like half the people nearby will be deaf just by listening to it. Felt and heard explosions. Yeah, he felt and heard explosions, but he did not hear explosives because especially enough to turn, especially enough for a 500,000 ton building, Like go next to an actual controlled demolition and listen to it. Just go and listen to it. There wouldn't be a debate. You would hear it from every single camera. Like that's the big thing is the cameras don't pick up the noise. So if you have to resort to a eyewitness saying he heard an explosion, it means it wasn't loud enough to be heard by camera.
I got a few pictures I'll show. Just kind of bring them up to the camera.
But I just want to. Okay, so here's a Zoom call link. Whoops! I put it wrong. Put an actual thing in here. Okay. Going to let's share photos, and I will. Let's see. Okay.
I'll just show them and see if you just tell me if I'm naming them right.
Yeah.
the loose change boys. You know, when back in those days, in the early days, Corey Roy, Jason Burmis, and Dylan Avery, right?
I know
But there was a fourth.
Burmis. Jason
There was a
Burmis.
fourth guy named
Okay.
Matthew Brown.
Okay, I haven't heard
And he
of
was,
him.
I think he was older than them, and he was involved just as much, but I never heard of his name until I was looking up that stuff, you know?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to bring up this picture. Ready?
That's
This
it.
is, you wanted to see Alphonse, the guy from that, there he is, that's him.
Yeah, so
The
that's
hat, you know, that's Corey Roy from Loose Change in the middle.
okay.
We interviewed him, but that's Alphonse. We were the ones that started Veterans for 9/11 Truth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Cynthia McKinney. Twice I ran into her, and
Yeah,
you know,
that's epic.
she was on the guy that's with me. He's the one that produced he's the one that produced that Tea Party film back into Snowshoe Films. He does a lot of filming. I don't know what he's doing now, but that's who he is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's great stuff.
And well, just real quickly,
I also wanted to show. Remember you showed the drawer last time we had to call. Your drawer full of like DVDs and books and all that, or.
oh yeah, my drawer. Yeah, I'm loaded with stuff.
Yeah. This guy's has a living archive. So I think that's one thing we might need to do is put your stuff in a museum. It's epic.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna ship it to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. And yeah,
There's Judy Wood in front of the White House on the 5th anniversary.
Yeah, so that should be the real first female president, not not Hillary.
Yeah, there you go.
Hillary Satan Clinton. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, here's 3 buddies right there. There you go.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Stephen A. Jones and Griffin.
Oh,
Kevin Barrett.
David Griffin
I've never heard of I never watched any of it.
and Kevin Barrett. Barrett.
Yeah, I never heard of
All on, and I was surprised with Kevin because I really liked Kevin a lot when I first, and he just wouldn't get into Judy Wood. I remember I was at one of these political conventions, and I used to have my own stand, and he came up to me after I departed from him, and I showed he knew, and I really think that he was controlled opposition there,
No, which guy?
Kevin Barrett.
Oh, Kevin Barrett. Yeah. He's one guy I haven't listened to him, but I just have like a sense, like I just assumed he was.
How could he not see all this evidence?
Yeah.
Here's in front of the White House, we had the 9/11 Inside Job banner there, and the upside down flag. That was when the 5th anniversary. Yeah. Right there. Yeah,
That's
probably.
epic stuff. I have some photos here actually. I'll show you. I'm sharing this one here.
Go ahead.
This is one of your photos. So this is before you got woken up to Judy Wood's work.
Well, I knew some of it, and
Yeah.
I just didn't pay close enough attention.
I know that's the thing,
Because I started learning about her in 2006.
So this is what the truth movement and like every other movement does, in my opinion. It's to just put in a whole bunch of information, where the average person who doesn't have much time to look into every single aspect. This is 9/11 truth. Well, like you have a bunch of small text, of a bunch of random people, very little evidence being actually discussed.
Yep.
And this is not going to move the needle. But as opposed to, for example, your new poster of just a giant poster of Judy Wood's book, like that's important stuff.
Yeah.
Like that one, and just look at it and be like, all right, I'm done. Like that's all I needed.
And of course, here's me. This is a cute picture, and as many books as this guy wrote, but he wouldn't dive into some of that critical evidence. It was always there you go. Here's his 10 books.
Yeah.
Right. There it is. I'm holding it.
10 books and he's
That was
never
in
looked
Milwaukee.
at
He's 10
building
books.
6. Yeah, I never looked at building 6 or building 3.
Yeah. Well, look, all the times he admits, but he admitted it. He admits that he. Well, I don't. But did he do that on purpose? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's passed away now, so I don't really want to, you know, bash him too much. But I just think he was some kind of follower. He had the wrong people. He just listened to the wrong people in the movement.
Well,
You know?
I kind of think he's part of some sort of secret society.
Probably, yeah.
I
You know, he was
yeah.
Bob Bowman too. You know,
Yeah. There's your office.
you know, the Star Wars director, the guy that didn't like our upside down flag.
Yeah, and
You
there's
know?
this is your Meet the Truth office with the before when you're promoting architects and engineers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
look
I
at-
did
Yeah, look at
I
this
just
photo.
didn't do 9/11 there. Yeah, that was but I did a lot of different shows. You know, I did. You know,
Yeah, you purchased a lot of there's you and in the suit and looking all. Matthew, here's a good photo of you. Here's a good photo of you on the screen.
Where?
Right
yeah,
here.
there, right there.
Let's
yeah.
go. You look all serious. Let's go, guys. All right. There's
Well, it
the-
was. You know, I don't know how many people I reached. I probably didn't reach that many. You know, but we tried.
Well,
you know?
you were reached enough that 9/11 blogger had to go and personally email you.
Well, I reached enough that they came trying to change my mind, and I let them know right away. Nobody tells my mind what to do, you know. Here's Bob. Here I am with Bob Bowman in Chicago, right there, and
No.
he came to meet us. Oh, did I tell you the story about Stephen Jones when he came to my booth in Chicago for that
Oh
conference?
no.
We went to.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'll tell you. We went to lunch, and I drove him in my van. So we found a little restaurant near the convention hall. It was a hotel convention hall, and me and Alfonso, we're asking him questions, and we're going, "Aren't you a little more worried about your safety?" You know, and you know, and you know what his response was? Honest to God, it was the weird. I can remember exactly what he said. Oh no, I'm not worried. If I get to thinking like that, I just walk up and down my steps. Those are quotes, his words.
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
That's very interesting. And speaking of
That's
Stephen E.
how he
Jones,
put it.
from the emails that you printed out of Judy Wood and sent me it, I want to read it out. The one about Stephen Jones. So apparently he was lying that he got fired from his university. He actually didn't get fired.
Right.
Okay, and
He did lie about that.
yeah, so let's see right here. It says right here. Yeah, so Judy Wood, this email to Andrew Johnson. I think were you CC'd it?
I think I found it on Andrew's site.
Oh, it's to Andrew Johnson. Okay.
Yeah.
Jones. Yeah, so Jones apparently still. This is on September 1st, 2014. Jones or Stephen E. Jones apparently still gives booster shots. Interesting wording. To his image of being important, as well as Psy having been wronged and fired. Even as of a month ago, Jones is still implying he was fired from BYU or Brigham Young University. Yet he was given a promotion and retired. He bought his retirement home and moved into it about 4 months before he implied he was fired. So he's lying about that. Yet 2 months after he supposed was fired, he giggled at a presentation he gave at me for losing my job and got the audience to laugh at me. That's not the behavior of someone wrongly terminated. Yeah, that's very, very
It's
interesting.
not. And that's what I did. I studied their behavior, you know.
And
And
actually,
that's important. If you're gonna,
yeah, it goes further. It goes about a student. So that's not the behavior of a professional either. He knew better than to laugh at the fact that my student was murdered. Both Fetzer and Jones wanted to keep that quiet. Interesting. So she's fully believes that he was murdered. Except Morgan Reynolds, I saw his thing. He said that he actually did an interview with the alleged murderer. It was like a robbery, the black youth.
that student, you know what he was involved in? He was involved in Jones was talking about, you know, the molten metal.
Yeah, the aluminum.
And
Yeah.
The color, and he knew that he was lying about the colors. of what he was seeing. He was lying about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I saw that 100% because he was saying that only steel can glow like that. I'm like, aluminum can as well. Those are things where an engineer looks at that and be like, this guy's a complete and utter lunatic.
Yeah, he's not credible anymore.
Well, it's also that's why universities like they won't bother. But speaking about that, yeah, so he was involved with that, which makes it all interesting. Except Morgan Reynolds said he actually spoke with. So in one of the emails that I saw from yours, actually, I was
Yes,
reading
he did. He spoke with one of the criminals.
we have one of the alleged murderers, and
Right.
yeah, he's so alleged. He was a black youth, and he concluded that it wasn't related, and he believes
Yeah,
that.
he came to that. You don't know. You don't know what threat that guy's under.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Yeah, but it's hard. But he said because apparently he has some sort of background in psychology. I'm not sure what exactly his background was. Because I think Morgan Reynolds or actually Eric Larson was on an email. But he's very well versed in writing, so
yes,
he may
and,
understand.
His uncle was the one that was killed.
Okay.
The student's uncle. He was the one that wrote the book on. He wrote a book on Stephen Jones.
Yeah, Eugene. So his uncle, no, Eugene Malov was the one who wrote the book.
I have his book.
Yeah. Water Ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, you have it all. I may need all of your books. Oh, Ron Muckle's here. Okay. So Ron Muckle was the big on the Hutchison effect. And someone says, does anyone know if molten metal was cold to touch? John Hutchison said sometimes right after the effect, he would go and touch it and it's like ice cold.
Did you show that paper where in that one book, the management book, the guy that worked for Richard Gage and in the appendix part where they used Judy Wood's name when they were.
That I have seen it. Did you upload it? I have seen that one where they mentioned they put her next to Holocaust denying or something like that.
Yeah, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was in the book, And I'm just gonna look.
All right. Let's
Just
see.
a quick look.
Let's see some other stuff. Okay, let's see how much we have. So we've gotten 2 hours and 11 minutes. I think we might.
Yeah, we're going a long time here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put a timer for another, let's say, 20-ish minutes or so, because I'm standing, and I do that so that I know when to stop. So when my knees buckle. I'll put another maybe 20, 30 minutes. We'll go with 20, but then we can go over it if we're still powering through. But this is great stuff. We have a lot of information to learn. And again, just sharing your history. Okay, so Ron, 5 minutes from pulling into my driveway, did not leave. Yeah, so Paul wanted to speak to Ron and get his info from the Bob Greener exotic vacuum objects. Yeah, I actually want to look at that because it does make some very interesting stuff with the I think it was that open connections, and they somehow interact with the radio frequencies to do that, to create some sort of exotic vacuum objects that cause transmutation. Need to get a seat, not get that's life, but not as we not need to get a seat. Well, that's the thing. I do this on purpose so that I don't go too long.
Here it is.
All right, let's go.
I found the paper for you.
Let's go.
And it's right. I'm going to put it right here on top. And
yeah. No,
wait,
nice.
am I got it? It's upside down.
Yeah. I saw. Okay, now it's like frozen.
And I yellowed it out. Wait.
Oh, you're upside down now.
Up, down. There it is.
No, but you're upside down now.
And that's in that book that I had worked for.
Yeah, but
there's
it's upside down though. I know, but it's upside
down. It's upside down. Okay. I'm not paying attention. There it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it show upside down on the screen? Can't get it right.
Yeah. Judy
there.
Wood, yeah, Judy Wood, Jews and Zionism, Holocaust. So they mix in. So like the only person they'll mention is her
actual name.
Yeah.
Why do you do that to somebody?
So they mention. They basically says we want to stay on topic. So they says okay, no UFO, Jews, Zionism, etc.
No,
but they also include the only one looking at evidence, Judy Wood. Oh yeah, Ron. So I got $500 Canadian worth of John Hutchison samples. So. Well, it's arriving in the mail. He sent me a bunch. And him and his wife, Nancy, may join the live stream maybe in March or something, or later this year. That'll be pretty epic. and because he has a lot of information that I didn't know, because he kind of the cross-dressing kind of puts me off, but beyond that, he's got infinite info. All right, and
here's what Jeremy Rise. Remember I told you I got an email?
Yeah, he uses that same meme every time. I think he's some sort of robot, or uses the same playbook.
Well, that's alien scientist.
Yeah, he's an absolutely
he says in this,
person.
why are you promoting Judy Wood so strongly and not giving much attention to AE 9/11 truth? Their rebuttals and counter arguments against Dr. Wood and the evidence they present, which Judy Wood has tried very hard to distort, discredit, and even lie about. On Coast to Coast AM in May 2011, she claimed that nanothermite was really just justified building components. She is clearly an example of what Cass Sunstein called cognitive infiltration. She broke up scholars for 9/11 truth, and she is on a mission to discredit the entire movement.
Yeah. And see that?
That's what he wrote about it.
And see that photo that you sent? Remember? Can you show that?
Yep.
Yeah. Show that photo. He uses the same one over and over again. It's actually like disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah. See that right there? He uses the same thing. It's like this is.
Yeah.
And look,
they got her eye distorted.
Yeah, and he has the same meme, and this is September 12, 2023. Look at my screen now. Yeah, I see yours. Now look at my screen now. I will pin mine. Yeah, so now look at mine. You can put yours down now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, look at my screen.
Yep.
He uses the same one. This is September 12, 2023. And then I replied to him because I told him, that's such an evil clown you are, Jeremy. Like, literally, it's like he's an absolutely evil. Yeah, he might be a bot, yeah. But he's actually a real person. He's actually, he has been, I think, now he has his AI on his photos now, but I think he was convicted of a felony before, too, as well. So he went to jail. Yeah, classic troll movie. Yeah, so he would do that, but he uses the same meme, like, for decades. And, yeah, he's an absolute clown show. And Ron Muckle was trying to get a debate with me and him. He would not dare to walk up here because I'll just call him a clown. And then he was like, you won't know what to do besides dance. All right, let's continue.
I gotta show you this real quick. This guy, you'll see what looks like a Asian guy in this picture. Watch. See this guy right there, that Asian guy, the smaller one.
Let me make this bigger. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, the Asian smaller guy. Yeah, I see it.
We were in front of Marquette University. We had a big street action, right? And we had one of my banners. He ran up and he snatched that banner out of my hand, right? And ran. And I tried to catch him. And the sucker was too fast. I couldn't catch him. Stole my banner right off of me.
Wow. Yeah.
I had a few people that gave me the finger, and I had another guy that tried to start fights with all of us, and you get some characters, but that stuff's kind of slowed down now. It's kind of you very seldom get it. If I haven't been on the street for about 2 years now. The 1 year I couldn't because of my condition, and then it poured rain the other 9/11 anniversary. But you see less and less of it now, than it was back in 2005, 2006, all that when it first started, So,
Oh, that's great. So there's a question for you right here from Joe. Joe says, has Matthew met anyone who was at the WTC site on 9/11 and survived? Any personal accounts we haven't heard before? Like, have you heard? Do you know anyone personally that survived?
No, but I met a few people that said they knew somebody.
Okay.
But I never met anybody, that they said they knew somebody, and I talked to them, but I just can't remember the conversation. But, especially when I was in New York, because I went to New York 2 years in a row,
Okay, yeah, because that's one thing I wanted to
people.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to get on the live stream is someone that was actually there, and then like survived. Yeah, that'd be interesting, and then see their perspective as well. All right, let's see some other stuff.
Well, there wasn't many people that, they were there. Well, they went through the dust cloud. You can probably find some of those people.
Yeah, and you were actually right in
we were in 2007. We were right in the grounds. We weren't in the. It was walls there was a lot of construction going on, but we were right at ground zero.
Yeah,
We're right next to the walls that wouldn't let you in.
Yeah, you took a photo.
There's some big green walls
there. I'm trying to find the dust. All right, let's see what else we have. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the just to stay focused. I'm gonna go back to the list of the stuff we had to show. All right, so Vietnam War, we went over that. Yeah, so 9/11 blogger administrator told Naus not to promote 9/11. So here's a bunch of notes that I put in as I listed this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Book Painful Questions and Analysis. This one here I want to get. This one, analysis of the September 11th attack.
Yes. It's
So
just got a lot, I'm not, the accuracy is of course a way off.
Yeah, but
but he brings up a lot.
Well, the thing is, he's 2002 and he doesn't have the credentials of Judy Wood, so it's like.
Here it is. There's the book.
Yeah, share this stuff. Yeah, that is the book.
2000. One of the first early books with pictures.
Yeah, this was like I 100% believe Judy Wood got at least some of her ideas from this book.
Some of her information from this book.
Yeah, because
he puts a lot in there.
It looks very similar to her book. Like it shows evidence, like visual evidence. Limited preview, but you got to buy the book. Painful.
You got to, lots of times you find this stuff at old bookstores. I found a lot of stuff at bookstores.
Yeah, so I have it here. There's on an archive. They have a limited preview. It doesn't show all of it. But this was epic. Has a whole lot of photos. Let's see if I get painful questions. Let's share this tab. It looks like this.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Yeah. So Paul Level says, a reminder: if you're able to, please consider using Super Chat. MES spent his own money on Hudson samples, and we need to pay him back. Analytical test. Yeah, for sure, guys. Throw some cash on me, guys. Paul Lewis, let's go. Good job. People send me cash. Okay.
Tell them about. I got 11 volumes, or no, 8 to 9 volumes in here of all the articles that were ever written about 9/11.
Yeah. So he literally has.
Here's one volume. Yeah. And you'll see it. It's by the Complete 9/11 Timeline. It's called. Like it's done by Operative Research website. Wow. And I printed all of it. Wow. I have all of them printed. They're all in and they got everything. All the articles written.
Yeah, and And do you think you
could
show?
Tons.
Yeah, that is epic. And remember, you also had a drawer as well. Remember, you had the file cabinet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are all the articles ever written. Okay, that's up to what date? Do you know?
Articles in other countries too.
Up to what date? Like up to what year? Up to what year?
They give, it's just amazing the stuff that you found in there.
I know, but up to how current is it? How is it up to like 2000?
Well, this came out around. Let's see if I can see a date on here. Well, I printed this stuff up in 2006. I went through a lot of ink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah. If you could show
it's called the.
Yeah, and if you
the complete just look it up in the complete 9/11 timeline.
Oh,
that's what they go by. That name. Cooperative Research. Complete 9/11 timeline. There's so many articles. I mean, it filled these big folders I got. It filled up 9 of them.
Let's see. I think I Richard Gage. Share this. Which one? Okay, so Nile Vision is telling me to share several stuff here. One of them is this. Let's go here. Let's go on Telegram. Okay, and let's share this. Share this tab. Okay, so now is telling me to share some stuff here. This one here is. Yeah, we're gonna share. Okay, you have some more stuff you're sharing. I'll share.
Well, I just wanted to show you. What I do is I find these books at the bookstores, and they're pretty cheap, right? This one was only $10. Portraits of 9/11. Now I don't go away what they're talking about in there, but they're just beautiful for seeing all the pictures in them. So This was all the people that died. So this one book by the New York, it gives you all the people that died in there.
Wow.
And a little story about them.
I believe was it the first anniversary when they had like everyone's family members that like would read up their names of the ones that died.
Yeah. Here's one really good one. Images, and by Gary Suson, and it's images of 9/11, just all pictures.
Yeah, that's epic. Yeah,
Rec room images of Ground Zero.
Yeah, 100% would need to get hold of these. All right.
This one here was this last one I'm showing is a bunch of front pages of the attack, the front pages of newspapers. That day.
Oh yeah, I would need one of those. Those like especially right from there. Okay, guys, we have $5 donation from Paul Loveless. Let's go. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. And also thanks to you, Matthew. So you also gave me a donation, $100. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to help you out again. So.
Okay.
Now that you brought those examples there.
Yeah, I just put a whole bunch. And John's like, I told him just throw in whatever you want in there. He's like, yeah, it's gonna cost $350 USD. And I look at the conversion value. I'm like, that's $500 Canadian. It's unreal, the conversion rate. All right.
No, but you're right. You know, with my heart and everything, I don't know how long I got. I could go in a year. I could go in 10 years.
Yeah.
But I sure would like to see this library I got. Getting somebody's. Somebody should be writing books on this stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I put yours on Rumble, all these videos as well, like on Rumble. So it's like it's all digital there, and it's because some of these are pretty epic stuff here. Protests. So basically, I like archiving everything. And
I can honestly say I found more truth in the books I read. More facts in the books I read than what I got off the internet. I got so many.
No, I understand. The internet is it's very different. Usually, the books you'll have someone like writing down and thinking about it for a while, but the internet is filled with a lot of sensationalism. Like you'll have, it's hard to navigate. Like for example, you have to get to the actual truth. But even then, I blame a slight part of it on the actual truthers. Like for example, Judy Wood should by now have like a full PDF of her book online, an article format. Like that's my just one little like point of contention. Like imagine she had her book online, the full thing.
Yeah.
And then anytime that there's some updates that she needs to do it, where it gets to a certain point where it's significant, she can do a new edition of her book, like a physical book, so people can buy multiple editions, and then it just. So in a way, you have to take pointers from like how mainstream publications do their stuff, like how they form a business and do it. So it's like, it's not just putting truth out; it's also marketing it as well as they do.
I mean, if they could get it on a Kindle reader,
Yeah, get a Kindle reader too. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, get it on everything, especially video format, like full video. And that's kind of how I do my videos. If you've ever seen my videos, some of them are like 6 hours long, 10 hours long. It's pretty much like a book, but I read them all. So because I personally like videos over reading. That's just my my 2 cents. Because
we have a similarity there. I do a lot of reading.
Yeah, it hurts my reading after a while hurts my eyes. Like I was actually this close to getting glasses until I realized I could watch video at like double speed. So it's like mimics reading, and I'm like, all right, I can listen to it while like glancing at it instead of like focusing on it. So I haven't had to use glasses ever. So that's pretty epic.
Remember you discovered the first book on that mentioned this.
And also, can you show your file cabinet, the drawers? And if you point the camera to it. You guys have to see his goods right here.
Okay, what can you see?
Yeah, I can see the top 4 drawers.
Here's my file cabinet.
Yeah, his file cabinet has a whole bunch of stuff. So this is as many file cabinets that was found on 9/11.
With videos.
Yeah.
This whole thing is filled, you know,
And that's all DVDs?
with all
Or?
kinds of subjects. I
Yeah.
haven't watched all of them. It's just
Yeah.
incredibly hard. And then another one like that, all filled. You know, all filled. The ones with the red on are like my TV shows, stuff like that. You know. So, and then I have, you know, because over the years, a lot of truthers that I've caught them, I've gotten them for free. You know. And then I have just. Oh, and then I want to show everybody, because when I was doing all the DVD stuff, I'm going to turn it this way. I have this 10 DVD duplicator here. See this?
Mm-hmm.
But now DVDs, nobody does this anymore.
Yeah.
But back in 2000,
That's state of the art. Yeah, that's.
here, there's 10 drawers here. These I can put the top one in and get 10.
Oh, it's like glitching out. Did you freeze?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I know you're back. I can hear you now. The audio, the image is frozen. Okay. All right, and let's see what else we got. Indeed.
Yeah, hang on, you can hear me, but I'm
Okay.
trying to get it back up.
Someone says that's double the filing cabinets found on 9/11. Yeah, the one filing cabinet was found, and that was underneath the Ben and Jerry's. So
Yeah.
yeah, you saw that part about the filing cabinets found
But-
on 9/11.
Behind me, I have
Yeah.
I have 3 big file cabinets, 5,
Oh,
6
three.
drawers.
Yeah. Because you pretty much have a whole bunch of everything. That's just good stuff. And the emails too of all the okay, yeah, I think you're freezing up. Okay. You're freezing up, so okay. So in the meantime, here's the only filing cabinet. Guys, can you guys hear me though? We've lost Matthew. He froze up. Okay, so this is the only filing cabinet found on 9/11. So this is what I mean by direct energy was able to do this. Energy was directed in such a way that you could melt without high heat. These papers are not burnt. All right, these papers are not burnt. Yet this whole thing is melted. Just learn about external CD, DVD drives connect connect to computers today. Yeah, I actually have to get one. My computer doesn't have one, so I have an external one just to literally just put 9/11 videos from DVDs onto the cloud. Okay, I can hear you. So you guys can hear me, but we lost Matthew Naus. Okay, so we lost them. Are you there? Who's messaging me? Okay, so in the meantime, let reconnect. Okay, so 9/11 Visions wants me to show some stuff, and let's go while we wait for Matthew Naus. And let's go here. And where's 9/11 Revisionist? 9/11. Okay, so this one here is here's an actual demolition. See how loud it is. Where's it? Okay, there, right here. Yeah. So this was an actual demolition. Just look at the amount of explosives and like you don't need anyone's opinion or a witness testimony to know that this was exploded. Let's see. The whole town is just there. So this is very, very loud, and the dust does not go much higher.
Unbelievable.
And the guys get goosebumps from this far away. You don't need a firefighter that's literally inside underneath it saying, "Oh, I heard an explosion." All right? The whole entire city would have heard, especially the size of the towers. I think I have a SketchUp. Okay, I think I tweeted it. SketchUp. This is epic video from 9/11 Revisionist. SketchUp. I think it's SketchUp. No. I think the website's called SketchUp. SketchUp. Let's just sign in with what? What am I signing in with? I think this username? Nope. Sign in with Google. Share this tab. Okay. Let's just try to connect. Okay, and WTC compares to, so that building I showed. Now compare the size with the actual steel. The other one's probably concrete, of a steel skyscraper, not just concrete. So here's the size I have. There's building 7. There is the Twin Towers, and these planes are to scale, so that's actually how they would look like. And they interestingly match up even from any angle, like the exact size. So that is interesting. Okay, there's I think I have a Titanic somewhere as well. All right, so this was like one of the tallest buildings ever demolished right here, and it's much smaller than this one here. This was I think previous record. And Matthew Naus, are you there?
Yeah, I got you back.
Oh,
I had to go all the way through it. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I knew that would happen once you move a computer around.
Yeah. No, just look at the size of this. Yeah, I was just showing him. Follow the toasted cars. That's why they were moved. Yeah, look at this giant. This is steel, and then this is the tallest one before, and then this is building 7 is also building like taller than any other building that was demolished. All right, so that is some cool stuff. All right, and yeah, and let's say we've gotten pretty much along 2 hours 36 minutes. Let's go a bit more. Is there anything else? Yeah. I'm gonna go right here. Actually, 9/11 Revisionist has some more stuff here. 277 views on the thing. Let's reconnect. So here's a bunch of stuff here. 9/11 Revisionist. 9/11.
Well, I'm just really happy to have been on your show for you, and
yeah.
I always wish you the best of luck in building up your views and everything like that. And you're doing great work, you know, and you're young.
Yeah, that's the thing. it's good. Yeah. And interestingly, so like I also have a civil engineering degree similar to Judy Wood, yes, and I thought I was never going to use it until 9/11. I'm like, all right, so that's why destiny here. And this was a PDF. I don't know if you've seen this, but Judy Wood wrote this.
No, I haven't.
As to refute Gage's game. So it's quite a bit, but I'll read just first part or just a bit of it. Also, I don't respond well to dishonest or insincere statements. My time is too valuable. If someone keeps posting the same nonsense for 15 years, speaking of Richard Gage, it appears their objective is to consume my time and to manipulate others. How does it feel to know that you've been manipulated? Because this person had Richard Gage on, and then
wow.
Yeah, so he had Richard Gage on, and then people were telling him to get Judy Wood on instead, and so on. Epic Stream, double, MTA, double thank yous. Okay, Mr. Gage has said that I dismissed thermite on page 126 of my book. Have you actually looked at page 126? What is discussed on page 126 is the lack of seismic signal as stated by Shom Sunder, a section on the kitchen sink, and so on. But anyways, I'll put a link there. You guys can read it. I'm losing focus and energy. And let's see. I'm gonna go read through. Yeah, and I'm gonna go see what else we missed here, and then if there's anything else you want to add in here.
I think we covered most of it.
Yeah, we covered all. Yeah. Let's see. Murder of Michael Zabor, DJW student, Jim Fetzer, Incurious, and also I want to bring up then we'll end it. So, American Freedom Radio fired Pete Santelli after Fetzer threatened to sue ARA because of insinuation that Pete Santelli made. By just finding it puzzling that Jim Fetzer was his reaction after Michael Zabor died. So Fetzer sued them, or threatened to sue, saying that, yeah, basically you're getting a guy on that's saying that I murdered a student. Did you read that email? Yeah, and then so he got actually Pete Santelli fired.
I do have a couple emails of between Fetzer and Santelli.
Oh, Santelli. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to read this for later. And let's see what else. Yeah, Richard Gage has worldwide tours. When I was listening to you talk to him in Japan, Spain, and so on. And Veterans Today is a disinfo site. Yeah, there's
you gotta find new blood and brainwash, you know.
Yeah. And also, we'll read this last quote, and I think we'll just end this all. This is from Morgan Reynolds in one of the emails you sent. This was in regards to the Fetzer pushing nukes. And also this in the chat, people were talking about what happened to the steel that was shipped away somehow, okay? And then he says, was the lethal radiation shipped to China along with the invisible steel? One sentence to blow up Fetzer's pet nuke theory. Quote by Morgan Reynolds. That's epic stuff.
Well, you know, Morgan Reynolds wrote that article, Fed Up with Fetzer.
Yeah,
you know,
I was reading that just before I got here.
They used to do a radio show together. They would go on shows together. They were on Coast to Coast together, you know.
Yeah.
And Morgan finally figured them out.
Yeah, I realized. You know? Yeah, that's what they do. And actually, we'll play. I think, okay, I want to end this soon, but we'll play this one here because it involves why they have these muddle up, these disinfo agents, and why it is still effective. This is from 9/11 Version has shared it with me. I just got to find it in my scheduled post on Telegram. I have one scheduled. Let's see if I can find it. This is the one about a study done on this game that was done right here. Just try to find. Okay, this one right here. I'm going to share this stuff. I was scrolling up. So are the 9/11 Truther talking heads the werewolves of 9/11 Truth? This is about a study done on this. Here, we'll just read it. We'll just watch this right here.
Have you ever heard of a game called Werewolf?
No.
Have you ever heard...
Can you hear the audio fine?
Yeah, I can hear.
...of a game called Werewolf?
No.
Everyone gets a piece of paper. It's either got villager written on it, but 2 have the word werewolf. Someone runs the game to make sure no one's cheating, and they go, okay, it's nighttime, everyone close your eyes. Werewolves choose someone to kill, and the werewolves go... They say, okay, everyone close your eyes, it's morning time, open them again. During the night, Francis was killed. There's then a conversation, and this is where it gets interesting, between all the villagers and the 2 werewolves over who the werewolves are. Then at the end of the day, the villagers have to decide who they're going to kill, and they say, well, we're going to kill Constantine. It's revealed by the person running the game, I'm afraid Constantine was a villager. And the game continues. The villagers win the game if they kill both werewolves. The werewolves win the game if they kill all but 2 villagers. And the werewolves usually win. The game was invented by a student of sociology in Russia who wanted to prove his thesis that an uninformed majority will always lose a battle of information against an informed minority. So that just shows when you have hidden information, you can completely manipulate a large group of people.
All right. That's speaking about every conspiracy ever known to man.
Yeah.
That's
exactly right.
Yeah, that's why they have these disinfo agents, because the surrounding public don't really they trust people too much. Anyways, that is. Oh, does anyone else have any questions or concerns? Any questions for me or Matt? For Matt Squared. And I'm going to share this tab, and yeah, so you can see the stuff, and that is all, guys. Yeah, guys, as Paul is saying, consider using Super Chat, send some cash. I threw in a whole bunch of cash to that samples of Hodgson. And anything else you want to say, Matthew? I
thank all the people that stuck in here for this long session. You know, this is the first time I ever did a live stream, so you know, I hope I came across a little. I know I could get better if I keep doing it. You know, just like when I did my TV show. But so I'm very impressed with all the stuff you did, and hope we can do this again sometime. Okay?
Yeah, for sure, and turn your entire house into a memorial, a 9/11 memorial. And I also emailed Judy Wood just before I interviewed you. I emailed her in her contact form on her website, just saying to get on, requesting her get on the live stream, and also saying that I was having you on the show and she knows you well, so that's hopefully that moves the needle.
She knows me, but you know, I haven't talked to her in a long time, but I'm
Yeah.
sure she knows my name.
But
Remember?
still, yeah, I think you were the one that.
All right.
Yeah, first one. All right, guys, that's all. And yeah, I don't know what else has anything. Anyways, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining, and thanks, Math. Epic stuff. Thanks for
All right,
spending.
peace.
All right, have a good one.
Let's make this a better world
Yeah,
with truth.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. All right, guys. That's all for today, guys. I'm gonna end
All
the
right,
stream.
take care.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, and ending. All right, and we just ended. All right, and